two more different candidates for the GOP nominee for president than Mitt Romney and Donald Trump. And there was almost a pushback from the Republican Party against Mitt Romney, saying he lost because he was weak. We need this strong-arm, aggressive conservatism. And so Donald Trump shook things up by being as abrasive and bombastic as he is.
But he's a populist. He's not really, conservative is not the best label for Donald Trump.
No, at all.
But he's a populist. He's a nationalist. And, it worked in 2016. I don't think it works now.
And don't you think it kind of worked because Hillary Clinton was the most disliked woman in America? I think if they have a better nominee, Trump doesn't even win in 2016.
Yeah, maybe.
What happens now, the dynamic between him and Ron DeSantis, and now because we've seen him over the last, 24 hours, he went after Glenn Youngkin this morning on Twitter. He went after DeSantis yesterday, or not Twitter, on his Truth Social, and he did it yesterday. What happens with that party now? I know that we want to get Michael involved here, but
no,
I think it's that's the question I have. I feel like this is such a big deal.
When your opponent's killing themselves, just get out of the way.
Yeah,
that's kind of
Michael,
have at it, John.
Standing in the corner, smiling and peeking through the blinds.
What do you think, Michael?
Answer that, John. Yep. How are you going to fix this nightmare y'all created?
Well, what do you think now, Mr. Snooker?
Well, what it's going to come down to, here's what it's going to come down to. And we're very early, so, I can't predict the future, unlike the gal from Norway. But what it's going to come down to is you're beginning to see some conservatives step away from Donald Trump. Fox News, Rupert Murdoch. I saw yesterday Paul Ryan endorsed Ron DeSantis for president. That was a shocker. So you're gonna see some establishment and some conservative voices, Candace Owens, saying it's time to move on from Donald Trump. So that's all going to happen, and it's happening, and I think will continue to happen. And Trump's not helping himself with having these outbursts on his social media platform.
Yeah,
but that doesn't necessarily mean much. It's going to come down to the voters, the rank and file voters, and Trump is going to have a core of support regardless of anything that happens. The question is, how big is that core of support going to be? And the other question is, how big is the Republican primary for president going to be? Because if you get enough people in that primary, Donald Trump's going to be the nominee. I think that is the worst possible road forward for Republicans, but I don't get to make those decisions.
Meanwhile, the current president was asked just a couple of days ago whether or not he was going to run next election. And he didn't say unequivocally, yeah, I'm going to. It was, I intend to, and we'll really figure that out next year.
Yep.
What's going to happen there?
I don't believe he'll run. I don't have no insight here. I was one of the first people from Missouri to be on board with Joe Biden before Iowa happened. We wound up going up and spending a lot of time. I thought he was the only Democrat in that field who could topple the Republicans in that election. I do not believe Joe Biden's going to run for president. Why is he not saying that right now? Because we've got a couple of months to try to figure out what our ability to legislate in Congress is going to be. But I think probably around Valentine's Day, we're going to be knowing whether or not Joe Biden's going to run. And I'd mark the tape. He's not running.
Wow. Good stuff. That's why we bring you guys in here.
There you go.
That's not a hot take, man. That's just straight up like laying it down.
It's lava.
Oh my God,
the floor is lava.
Which creates obsidian.
Yes, it does. Wow, John.
Thank you.
I will never not be amazed by you.
You should come with us after this segment and see. I'll ruin it quickly.
We got more with Hancock and Kelly coming up on the show.
Today is Veterans Day.
As an American, thank you for your service and thank you for helping to defend our freedom and our great country.
I think everybody that sees a soldier walking down the street or through the airport should stop, shake their hand, and say thanks.
My thoughts and prayers are with them.
Join us as we celebrate Jefferson Barracks VA Hospital 100 years of world-class service to our nation's heroes, November 12th from 10 a.m. till 2:30 p.m. with a car show, music, food, veterans resources, and more at Jefferson Barracks VA Hospital, caring for heroes.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. You'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-5555. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, behind on taxes houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-5555. That's 314-782-5555.
Local news and information direct to your smart speaker. Just say, play KMOX.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly hanging out with us. That might be the first time I've said full names because normally it's just Hancock and Kelly. It's like Hall & Oates.
Right.
Like nobody knows the first names or needs to know. It's just Hancock and Kelly.
These guys
are
in much better shape than Hall & Oates.
Yes.
I heard
Yes.
from a reputable source that their last concert was bad.
Oh, no.
Like they were,
I heard that their last 30 years of concerts were bad.
Oh, get serious,
Have you
Kevin.
called the Hall & Oates hotline?
No.
There's a Hall
Yes,
&
we
Oates
did.
hotline. I think
Yeah,
we
it's
need
not
to call it.
1985.
Well,
We have
Kevin,
the internets.
I would like to call the Hall & Oates hotline at some point.
You can go do
And
that.
what is on the Hall & Oates
That's
side?
exactly right. I'm so
songs.
glad you asked. You call
Songs.
it, and it's like, welcome to the Call & Oates hotline, emergency hotline. For private eyes, press 1. And it's like this British lady who names all of the songs.
Are they from England?
I don't think so.
No, they're American dudes.
man.
Yeah. For
No,
rich
they're from the
girl,
streets.
press 2. So I
Huh.
pressed 2, and then they play the song on a really bad
Yeah,
recording.
sounds
over the
amazing.
phone.
That's a great idea.
Wow.
It's
Don't just
hilarious.
go to YouTube and hear the.
Guys, this
real
was like
version.
How
the
does
highlight
that
of my
survive,
month.
but time and temperature didn't?
I remember
love
time and temperature.
I love
Three,
it.
two, one,
3:15.
2-2-2-2.
That's right.
That was the best.
I thought it used to be 3-2-1-2-5-2-2. I'm
Well,
pretty
why don't
sure.
you call it and find out?
My wife used to work for the company that had time and temperature, so I'm telling you, it was 3-2-1, 22-22.
What do you do for
Maybe.
time and temperature?
Well, the company was called the Telephone Doctor,
Okay.
Mhm.
and they would go into companies and teach the receptionist how to interact with the callers that call in.
Huh.
Now we don't have
Wow.
receptionists anymore, so
No.
there you go.
I loved calling time and temperature.
Who didn't?
I loved it.
Yeah. Best.
Guys, we
Ah, the
still
good
have
old days.
we not to drag the conversation down again,
Back to
but we
politics.
Yes, we can always
back
count
to
on you
politics.
for that.
Thanks, Ron.
Hey, you're welcome. So we
Rongi.
have still a couple of races yet to be
Yeah.
decided, important ones. We've got Nevada, Arizona Senate, and the governor of Arizona. Do you have a feel of what might happen here?
Go ahead, Johnny.
So I'm concerned about the Nevada Senate race. So Adam Laxalt, the Republican, has had the lead from election night to this point. At least I haven't seen results lately. It could have changed. The incumbent, Catherine Cortez Masto, the Democrat, has been trailing. But there are a lot of votes out in Clark County, which is Las Vegas, and in the early votes. And early votes tend to be Democrat disproportionately. And if she needs to get something like 58% of what's outstanding, that's doable. And of course, that race matters because if the Democrat wins that seat, the Democrats win the Senate. Georgia doesn't matter. So that's a race I'm keeping a very close eye on. And if Laxalt pulls it off, and he could, then the Georgia race is going to be everything. The governor's race in Arizona is the Republican Carrie Lake has had a lead, has been trailing throughout to Katie Hobbs, the Secretary of State. That's a race, though. If you look at what's out, the Maricopa County is a little more GOP based, but they are early votes, and that race has tightened. Hobbs has tightened that race, and there's still where are we, like 80% counted? I mean, there's still a lot, hundreds of thousands of votes out there.
I think there's still like 76.
Yeah,
I'll look that.
There's
up.
a lot of votes out.
Yeah.
And I will just go back to Nevada with Adam Laxalt. So his lead is shrinking. He's got 48.97% of the vote. And Catherine Cortez Masto is at 48% with 90% of votes.
Yeah, that doesn't portend well. And of course, that outcome changes the entire dynamic of Georgia and how that race proceeds.
And I got to tell you, I agree with everything John just told you. 2 points I want to make. Number one, I think a runoff in Georgia helps the Democrats because we've done this before. There's organization there. There's enthusiasm behind our candidate as opposed to the other one. There will be plenty of resources that come in there. And if the Senate goes in, it doesn't matter. It's going to get even better for Democrats. And number two is, I think it's absurd that we are still waiting for these ballots to be counted.
Yeah.
And I just will remind you, this is all Republican laws that have brought us
state
this process.
legislatures,
That have brought us this process of waiting for votes. And then they're the ones who want to say it's all corrupt and stuff that we're waiting. How come that we can't count votes like we do in every other state? Come on.
Yeah,
what's going on?
I mean, to go along with that, I think it makes the environment ripe for questioning the election, the results of it, the validity of it. And with the exception of Lake, who has been doing that crap over the last 48 hours of we're going to win, and if we don't, it's stolen. And Masters, who released I think it was an email, a campaign email or a fundraising email yesterday, where he said, there are going to be legal battles here. With the exception of those two, all the other deniers conceded.
Thank you.
The ones who lost, they conceded. So with the exception of these two, is it possible we're past this crap, this nonsense?
Maybe. And, Missouri, we count all the votes on election night and they get the results out. The difference in Arizona and Nevada is that those states are so heavily dependent on mail-in voting.
Yeah.
So the sheer volume of them, because every one of those has to have their signature verified. And folks on my side that want election integrity appreciate that process, but it takes time. And it's a volume problem.
And I just want to bring up, Ranj, the point that you made yesterday with Major Garrett, and that is the people who are complaining historically about the late counting, how long it takes to count these mail-in ballots. They're not complaining because they're behind.
Well, Carrie Lake
is behind.
She would be
keep counting.
Yes, she wants to keep counting now. But if she were ahead, she'd tell us to stop.
How transparent can your hypocrisy be?
Pretty transparent.
Well, if it's politics, it's going to be, if you want to avoid hypocrisy, I wouldn't pay a lick of attention to politics.
Oh.
Either side.
All right. Well, we got better stuff to talk about.
You guys want to talk about the Blues?
No.
No.
Well, thankfully, we finally
they got to
won,
win.
right?
They got to win. Yeah.
It's all over now.
They did get a win.
Are we? How far into the season are we? Are we about 20% of the way through?
Oh, no. I'd say like 15%.
Yeah.
Just past the 10% point, a week ago. They were like, so what are they at now?
Four and
they're like
9.
15 games. So yeah, you're probably like 15, 16%.
4-8.
Be okay.
4-8.
They're going to win the cup because last time they did this, they won the cup.
They did.
All right, I like that. Mark the tape. says Wheeler.
No, I'm not going to do that. Are you guys hanging out, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the local side, I think, is what we want to get into next.
Let's do
We're
it.
going to hit on what all of that means moving forward for the city, for the county, for the state of Missouri. Just go where it goes, man. Hancock and Kelly in studio. Ranj, Amy, and Kevin hanging out with you on the show.
I've got a pretty big, difficult life, but I never have to do homework.
There's only one Dave Glover.
I didn't take any real classes. Like in high school, I just, whatever the bare minimum was. My mom and dad didn't push academics. I certainly wasn't pushing academics. I took home ec twice. My mom made me a Chef Boyardee hat that I wore, not ironically.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays 2 till 6
Yeah, that's what I did.
on KMOX.
KMOX News Time is 10:28. Donate a car, get a tax receipt, and tickets to the St. Louis Aquarium at mersgoodwill.org.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
The holidays are here, but for some families, they'll spend that time at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. I'm Carol Daniel. KMOX, along with all of our sister stations at our company, Odyssey STL, are again proud to partner with you and other generous St. Louisans in our community to raise funds for the Tree of Hope campaign for Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. It's so easy to give. Just text the word HOPE to 20357 or KMOX.com/Cardinal Glennon.
Rachel and Dave here for Smart Mouth. Smart Mouth is simply the only mouth rinse you ever need to think about again. Unlike Scope, unlike Listerine, it actually has a chemical reaction that kills bad breath for 12 hours. Use it twice a day and you are covered.
There's so many Smart Mouth products to choose from. They have their dry mouth rinse, their clinical DDS, their original formula, plus whitening toothpaste, and their delicious mints. To learn more, go to smartmouth.com/Glover for a $2.50 off coupon.
At 10:30, we have 41 degrees downtown at the Arch with a cloudy sky. Feels like 32 degrees right now. I'm Stuart McMillan in the news. President Biden says the U.S. will implement many measures to tackle climate change. Some of the steps include reducing methane emissions and targeting gas and oil companies. The president just spoke at the COP27 summit in Egypt.
If countries can finance coal in developing countries, there's no reason why we can't finance clean energy in developing companies.
President Biden also apologized for the country withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement back in 2020. It's almost time to start thinking about holiday travel again.
More people expected to go by car, and Missouri gas prices stubbornly staying well above $3 a gallon. The statewide average is $3.37, according to AAA. That's up just a cent from last week, but up 26 cents over last year. St. Louis is still paying the least in the state, Jeff City the most. Crude oil has stabilized after a spike last week, also impacting prices. Refineries are focused on diesel and heating oil and will be even more so closer to Thanksgiving, colder temperatures, and holiday shopping. At least we're not in California at $5.46 a gallon. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Free wings are available for veterans at 6 Sugar Fires today, including the downtown location. Each veteran gets 1 pound of free smoked chicken wings. Must have a valid military ID. Looking at the roadways, there are emergency vehicles 270 southbound. This is just before Gravois. Also at Doherty Ferry going northbound on 270. Emergency vehicles there as well. The right lane is closed at that spot. Stalled vehicle I-55 southbound just past Union Road. The right shoulder is affected. Your weather for today, it's going to be in the 40s. Temperature staying there. Could see some sun in the afternoon. A low around 29 degrees for tonight and for tomorrow. High around 38 degrees, brisk and cold despite some sun expected for tomorrow as well. KMOX News Time is 10:32. Looking at your weather across the area, the temperatures forecast in Florissant, that is, it is 40. St. Peter's, it's 39. And right now, downtown at the Arch, it's 41 degrees. 32 is what it feels like. I'm Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
No one's more locked into the NFL than First and Pod.
Which team right now do I think is better? I think right now Aaron Rodgers has a better chance. You've reached a point of no return when the Panthers blow you out. You get embarrassed by them. You scored 3 points, dude.
Listen, I thought the Packers were the best team in the NFC until last week. So I'm pretty jarred here. I'm thrown for a loop.
Subscribe to First and Pod on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Filing for Social Security could be one of the biggest financial decisions of your lifetime. Find out why with Your Retirement Professors, Saturday afternoons at 1 on St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Hi, Chris Saraceno for the Bartolinos family of restaurants, where we want to thank our veterans and active military who have bravely defended and continue to protect our freedoms. And thank you, our loyal guest, for the opportunity to serve you for over 50 years. In the traditions established by our mother and father, I'd like to invite you to one of our 4 restaurants. Bartolino South on South Lindbergh, Bartolino's Osteria at Hampton and 44, Chris's Pancake and Dining at the corner of Watson and Southwest, and Chris's at the Docket downtown on Tucker Boulevard, where our family awaits to serve you.
It's women's Billikens basketball action tonight as they take on SIU Edwardsville. Pregame 7:17, tip at 7:30. Hear the game here on your home for Billikens basketball. KMOX.
By 10:30 on the show, Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler, Hancock, and Kelly hanging out. We didn't get to any of the local stuff, so let's start with Mr. Kelly. Locally, what stands out to you? Whether it's city, county, state of Missouri, anything jump out to you with the results from Tuesday?
Well, yeah, Tuesday's election here in the city of St. Louis was particularly of interest to me. That's where we had Jack Coder, who I would consider to be a traditional Democrat, who was on the ballot. He ran on the issues of public safety and basic government services. I worked for Jack. I want to be make sure I disclose that. And Megan Green, who is a progressive Democratic socialist, is what they call themselves, who has been focused on really alternatives to policing, therapists and counselors, etc. Doesn't necessarily think that more police are going to fix our issue, is opposed to a lot of the incentives that have come that have brought a lot of the things to St. Louis. I thought this was a real watershed election because she won and won quite handily at a city that's got a crime problem. So we are all in now on this progressive experiment in the city of St. Louis. It's no longer just a policy idea. It's being implemented, and we're going to see what's going to come of it. I personally am pessimistic about it being successful because when you look at same regions that we compete with, Indianapolis, Little Rock, this is who we compete with these days, folks. They're continuing to invest to bring business and opportunity to their community. They're not defunding of the police. And so I worry about what this means economically to the city of St. Louis. And I would also say that I don't believe that this is just a city of St. Louis issue. I think this is a regional issue that we all ought to keep a focus on because we've heard from businesses. They can't lure people here because of the narrative that exists on crime. So I worry about what this ultimately means. There'll be a trickle-down effect if businesses choose not to come to St. Louis, or Megan Green and Tashara Jones may be right with their policies and be successful over the next 2 years. I think we'd all be thrilled if that was the case, but there's no evidence that this is working elsewhere.
It's not going to work. I mean, this is the epitome of wokeism being put in charge, and we're all going to find out what that looks like, and I don't think it's going to be pretty. Speaking of that, I've discovered how you can tell it's time to go on a diet. When your face recognition no longer opens the iPhone.
Oh my God. Well, sometimes it makes you put in the code.
Yeah, it does.
I wouldn't
Your
read
phone's
too much into that, John.
You know what? This fat guy is not. You're not John Hancock.
Exactly.
Your phone has
It's
been
supposed
stolen
to.
by a much larger man.
I don't think that's it, John, because it really only looks at your eyes and nose
Oh,
and mouth.
is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, so maybe it's the phone and not me.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I mean, is it iPhone?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that sometimes it just happens. Like it needs to be. You need to put in your code every once in a while and be like, oh, okay, it really is you.
Yeah, it doesn't measure your jowls.
No.
Oh, all right.
Although
Oh,
it still can,
okay.
but it can still recognize you when you have sunglasses on.
Oh,
So it's got to
well,
be looking
then,
more
all
than
right.
at your eyes because
So
it opens. Yes,
can?
yes, it does.
I was feeling mighty low there.
Absolutely
for a minute.
does.
Mighty
Nah,
low.
you're okay.
All
Yeah.
right, thanks.
I think you're good, John.
Keep eating.
Okay. I will. You got to fuel the machine.
I'm hungry right now.
Hey,
I'm
speaking
always
of that, actually, it has nothing to do with that. But Michael really wanted to talk about showering.
Oh, I listened to you guys yesterday,
Come on, Mike.
and I wanted to call in. I wanted to be first time caller, long time listener. You know, you all were talking about bathing yesterday,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Wheeler, you notice I didn't shake your hand today because you said sometimes you'll go 4 or 5 days without taking
No,
a
no,
shower.
no. I said that,
That's-
that there have been times in my life where I've done that. It's not a regular thing, and it
Okay.
doesn't happen now.
yeah. Now, are you a
No,
one shower or a
daily.
2 shower
No,
a day guy?
it depends on the circumstances.
Yeah.
Is it the summer? Then a lot of times that's a 2 shower day.
Attaboy.
Is
Good
it
job.
a day where I had a heavy workout and sweated a lot, and then it's a 2 shower day? Because there's always the shower before leaving the house.
My guy.
That's always, unless I decide I want to do it the night before, and sometimes I'll do that. I'll do it the night
Oh,
before.
I can't
and
do
then
that.
go.
I can't do
No,
that.
I have
Yeah,
to wash
that's not
myself
good.
in the
Yeah.
morning.
Well, you
Yeah, me
guys sit
too.
there, you're like, I do that
Uh.
like 60% of the time, and nobody's ever said anything. You guys
Well,
can't tell.
But my guy over here, we've long had discussions about showers, and he showers 1 time a day. He
That's
showers in
weird.
the morning
No, it's
and
not,
not
it's
in
normal.
the evening.
That's normal.
No, it's not. You
It
need
is.
to bathe yourself before you get into bed. Look at all the nonsense that's getting blown on you when you're out there and
But-
everything
Yeah,
that
see,
you interact with.
I don't
and
live
then
in
you're
the
going to get
city,
in those sheets
Michael.
without having bathed yourself.
I'm clean.
Yep.
I'm
had-
a very
See,
clean
here's the
person
thing
who
is I
doesn't
was-
sweat.
Well, here's the thing, John. John's with me on this. I'm wearing clothes, and then I change those before I get into bed.
Right. I do that.
So that stuff that's all over my clothes is not in my bed.
That's an excellent point as well.
So what about your armpits?
What about
I don't sweat.
Excellent, Amy. Excellent point.
if you
Thank
put your
you,
hand in
Michael.
there, you can make really funny noises.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't sweat. You know,
That's
I just-
sad.
I
just
do.
take that.
I
Well, I mean,
sweat a
if
lot.
I exert myself, I sweat.
Oh.
Yeah.
So better to say I don't exert myself.
It's the one thing I hate about wintertime, though, is because I do shower a couple of times a day, my skin gets
Yeah, you gotta
dried
get
out
really
quicker.
dry. That's
Well,
right.
But
There
boy,
you go.
it's a relief that I'm in bed and I'm in cleanliness. And I don't have a dog that's been out walking and God knows what and getting in my bed either, which is lovely.
How do you feel about towels and reusing shower towels?
Okay. Now I'm going to take a lot of heat for this,
Okay.
but I'm OCD.
Okay.
I'm
Yes.
a one shower towel guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm fortunate that
Green
I
over
have
here.
a washer
Yeah.
and dryer right there in my own little house, so I can
Yeah,
do it. And it's just me. But no, I don't want to get the same moldy towel that I used in the morning.
Why is it moldy?
Before I'm, well,
What
it's
did
been
you do-
hanging
what
there.
did you
God
do
knows
to
what's.
it?
I didn't do anything.
You're
but
clean.
So
Yeah, you just got out of the
here's
shower.
the
You're
process.
clean.
Clean.
Here's the process. So the morning towel makes a movement to become the bath mat. And then the
Yes.
evening
Oh.
towel,
Yes.
when I'm finished with it, becomes the bath mat, and a new towel.
Oh,
gets
So you're a
pulled in the-
2 towel
I
a
just
day
have
I'm a
a
guy.
two-towel guy. Day.
Wow, that's a lot.
Mr.
No, bath
Save the
mats are
Planet.
gross.
No.
Mr.
Yeah.
Save the Planet's over here showering twice a day.
Using all those
Yeah, all those
towels.
towels going in
Yep,
the washing
yep.
machine.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I won't die of some
That's why the
disease that I got
glaciers are
because I didn't
melting.
shower myself before I go
Buddy,
to bed.
I use the same towel for several days.
Mhm.
I've never gotten diseased.
Mm.
Well, that you know of.
Yeah.
Could be one of those silent ones. Michael,
Silent ones are always the worst. Definitely.
are you that guy then when you get to a hotel, you survey the bathroom and the first thing you do is ask for more towels?
Yes.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about what it really aggravated me during COVID and I had to travel.
Yeah.
They don't clean your room.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you know what? When you're paying $150, $175 a night
Where
for
are you
I'm
staying?
using every one of those doggone towels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to wash them
And,
and
they
you're going
still
to bring me
add
new ones.
all of those service fees, and they've cut back on the services, but I think the service fees are higher than ever. And you're not getting towels, you're not getting turned down service.
Right.
Hotels are expensive.
I have noticed all you need to do to clean your towels is just fold them nicely.
Yes.
Yeah, you just fold them nicely. They look.
And hang 'em on the
That's
wall.
a joke. That's a
Ron,
joke.
Yes,
No,
but
it's
like
true.
I
you
don't
just,
mean it.
You just get clean.
I don't mean that.
Use the
Okay,
towel.
good. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
yeah.
The towel's clean.
Now, see,
But I was angry with you people yesterday.
well, see, here's the thing.
Not
I
me.
think
Not
John
you.
might agree with me on that. I agree that like there's an average level of focus on these things, like from normal people,
Right,
and I'm below that number.
right.
But you guys are
True
way
that.
up top. And I looked it up. Only 10% of people shower twice a day.
Oh,
10%.
51% once a day. And then there's just a range of others like
Today,
Yeah.
you know, every other day or whatever.
today for me is going to be a 2 shower day. It's Friday, boys.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
But ditto.
Congratulations.
But I mean, it's a 2-shower day every day. For that.
I
Now,
may
in the
have
summertime,
to,
it's 3 or 4 sometimes.
depending how the snooker
Wait,
goes.
hold on.
What?
There are days that you shower 3 or
Okay.
4 times.
So let's take a summer day.
Yes.
Say I have conference calls in the morning. So I wake myself up, I take a shower.
Okay.
And then I'll go out for a walk.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now I've come back, I've stinky. I sweated. I wash myself again.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
you
that's
know,
2.
so
That
then
makes sense.
Then I'll go to work, well,
Yeah.
you know, and then when I come home, maybe I'll go out to dinner or something. I'll take a shower before I go to dinner, and then
I
I got to
agree.
take a shower before I go to bed.
What in the world?
Yeah.
That's a lot of
I'm
showers.
on
I mean,
board.
like
Well,
people,
you know.
people who live in like places like South Florida
I-
don't shower 4
I
times
get
a
it.
day,
I
and it's
don't
like
live there.
hot
Ron-
and nasty.
Have you noticed the Florida flex comes up a lot?
Yeah.
He kind of uses
Oh
that
yeah,
Florida
yeah.
flex.
yeah.
Did you guys also know that I have a house?
Danny has a
Yeah,
house.
I
Yeah,
know.
we get it.
Nice.
Where do you? Where
There's
do
a
you
house
guys?
in South Florida.
No, he
No,
just has
he's
a
been
house.
there, and he has
We
a
don't
house
have
here.
I use it as an analogy. You feel like complaining about, oh, it's hot, or
Yeah.
people live down there and they don't shower 8 times a day.
Okay, I went
They
to
survive.
I ran
It's
with
civilized.
the runners in Florida.
Wait, you run?
I do. I don't know if you guys know this, but I ran with them, and they said St. Louis humidity is worse
Of
than
course it is.
Florida
They're
because you don't
lying
have the
to
ocean
you.
and you don't have a breeze.
They're trying
They
to
said
make you feel
That's the
better.
truth.
They said St. Louis is gross.
Nah,
There's something about your
You can
skin
actually
in Florida.
measure the humidity, you know? It's not
The-
about a guess or a feel. Like you
No, I
can
know.
measure
No,
it.
wait
The
a minute.
most-
Humidity is water, is it not?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
So one would assume that if you got an ocean in the backyard, you're going to have more humidity.
The
Well, there's
most
more
humidity
water.
I've
there's-
ever
there's
experienced in my
winds
life
and
was in
breeze.
Tampa.
Mr. Meteorologist, there's
Yeah.
winds.
And you guys
there's
know
a
that there's no
breeze.
more wind in Florida near the ocean than there is normally in
As
Missouri.
opposed
I
to
see
St.
there.
Louis in summer here, where it's like being inside of somebody's
You
mouth.
guys also can't remember. It's not
It
just.
really is.
It's
It's
not.
like being inside somebody's mouth.
It's like spending the
You guys
whole
also-
day
In a mouth.
in a big giant mouth.
You guys,
Yes.
you guys also realize that most of the state in Florida is a swamp.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where all the humidity
But
comes from.
nobody
It's not
lives
the
in the
ocean.
swamp.
No, but the whole atmosphere over the state is saturated with the water that comes from out of the swamp when it evaporates.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not just the ocean.
There's something about the weather and
Yeah.
the humidity in Florida that makes my skin feel better than the humidity.
Well,
here.
it
I agree.
Yeah. The Gators agree too.
Yeah.
All right, last thing.
Okay.
Last thing.
All right.
Where do you stand on washing your own feet?
I do it every
Well, I mean, not
morning.
washing.
Now,
Yeah.
but here's
Go.
where you
yeah,
guys
not
are
having
better
someone
than
else
me.
do it.
Yeah.
But like
I
doing
do
that.
it with I do it with the bar soap. Somebody
that's
said
fine.
they use a rag.
Mhm.
That would be an extra OCD thing I'd be worried about. Now I got to wash that rag, you know, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
on my
yeah.
feet. So I just
I use a wash rag, but you do your feet last.
yes, I
Yeah.
do my feet at
And
the
then you
very
throw
end
the
of the
wash rag
day. I
out.
wash them
Yeah.
with a bar soap, and
Yeah.
then I
Do you
burn
it
rinse
then?
off
You got the
tonight.
little scrubby thing there that you.
Well, you can do the scrubby thing.
Yeah, that you use to clean the
It's a
toilet.
loofah.
You can- I mean, not the same one, but the same kind.
Yeah.
I almost used a bad word.
Wow.
Like I almost said, "What the?"
What the heck?
Well, you don't use. I'm not suggesting you use your toilet scrubber to clean your feet.
Oh,
I'm
that's why-
suggesting that device, when not used in the toilet, works perfectly
You
fine
know
on
what?
washing
John
your feet.
Hancock's shower gel is scrubbing bubbles, and I don't think he realizes.
we got a text from the 573 that says showering twice a day increases dry skin, and 85% of all dust in your home is dry skin.
Hmm.
So you are now living in your own dry skin because of this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Know-it-all.
Yeah.
The texter, I don't even know if it's true. I'm just
Oh.
letting our listeners have a
Sounds,
voice.
sounds pretty
That's-
darn good to me.
That's sickening.
Did you hear about the average person has 8 pounds of dead skin in their
Yeah.
couch?
Do you guys, when you go to hotels, do you guys not think about this? Like,
Oh,
I,
yeah, I think
I
about it
don't
all the
touch
time.
the remote controls.
Suddenly I'm less
I don't
hungry
wanna,
than I was.
I think
don't
about it all
sit
the time.
on upholstered surfaces.
Do you guys
Yes.
want to know how many mites live on your
I
face?
I don't. I don't. I really don't.
Because they procreate there.
Oh, they do everything there. They live there. That's their house.
And I haven't even gotten into my sheets routine because that's
Oh.
in every 3 days.
Yeah.
Those things are
That
getting
is really
wild.
Oh, my
good.
God.
3 days is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I struggle with that.
Hey,
3
I know
days is
that's
good.
it's a problem. What can
You
you
A person would be real lucky to be in your bed.
do? Hey now,
You know?
Ron's like, what are you doing Friday?
Yeah.
what are you doing?
I
tonight?
mean,
sleepover?
I'll sleep. Oh, whatever. I don't
Come
care.
on over. I got PlayStation.
Oh, is that
Let's
how you
go.
get it?
Kevin's going over to
Wait,
Yeah,
4 or 5?
Yeah, you got a
5,
PlayStation.
baby.
I'm
You
gonna
got
buy it.
5.
Listen, you got a PlayStation. I'll come over too. but I'll
Yeah.
sleep on the couch.
yeah,
I don't mind. I don't mind all that. I don't mind all that skin on
You
the
haven't
couch. It doesn't
showered
bother
in
me.
3 days. I don't want you in
No,
my
it was
bed.
this morning. Come on, you can't put on this kind of outfit without showering.
What has happened here?
I don't know.
What has happened
You
here?
agreed to 3 segments. That's what
It's,
happened.
yeah, that it's time for you
It was
guys
in our
to.
contract, I thought you said.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. You guys, time to go
Well,
snooker.
stick around for the 90-second segment that's the follow.
No, it's trending. It'll be quick.
See you guys.
You guys have a great weekend. Hancock and Kelly with us on the show. Trending is next.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens Find Rx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. When you need to talk Medicare, Walgreens is here. Start shopping today at walgreens.com/Medicare.
When you need a plumber, you need a plumber now. Beast Plumbing wants to be your plumber. This is Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing. They always offer up a monthly special. They've got 2 deals for you. The garbage disposal deal is $25 off the Badger 333 or $50 off the Evo Pro 1100 XL. For the holidays, they're offering a double deal. Through December, they are offering $75 off water heaters. Call them today at 314-500-LEAK or online at BEISplumbing.com. Tell them Bo sent you to Beast Plumbing.
Manor Grove has been caring for seniors for over a century. Everyone at Manor Grove is treated like family, and that's exactly how our residents should feel, like family. Our staff strives to make Manor Grove feel like home. Be assured, your loved one will be well taken care of at Manor Grove. The entire Manor Grove team views everyone inside as family and looks forward to seeing residents and coworkers every day. See for yourself at manorgrove.com and take our virtual tour. Welcome home to Manor Grove.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health, suicide, or substance use crisis, call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, trained crisis specialists will listen to your concerns, provide support, and get you the help you need. There is hope. The Lifeline works. For 24/7 confidential support, just call, text, or chat 988. A message from the Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Is your bank, brokerage, or your insurance company telling you to buy an annuity? They may have limited access to the best rates available. You need solutions, not someone pitching you a specific product. Call for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233. And also join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio.
Diamonds Direct's legendary pre-holiday sale is coming November 18th through 20th. You get instant savings, 20% off virtually everything. Plus, top jewelry designers are flying in with their entire collections, all on sale. An expanded selection of rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, all new fashion jewelry. Lowest prices of the year. Shop early for the holidays and save big. Get special financing too. Details at diamondsdirect.com. It's 3 days only. Mark your calendar. November 18th, 19th, and 20th at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Home Sweet Home mission is to give underserved families a sense of pride and to improve the quality of their lives by providing basic household furnishings. To learn more, go to homesweethomestl.org.
Learn about the history and lessons of the Holocaust at the newly renovated St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum, reopening November 2nd. Membership and tickets for individual and group tours at stlholocaustmuseum.org.
Be a part of St. Louis's newest holiday tradition at the Red. Journey into the magical wonderland of the timeless classic, A Christmas Carol. Performances November 18th through December 30th. Tickets on sale at redstl.org.
Temperatures getting low, but demand remains high. You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The show
Sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Dude, I'm here for the show. What show?
St. Louis, this is your show.
The show.
The show on KMOX.
What is it? What's happened?
What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened?
I need to know.
Trending now on the show.
All right, trending sponsored by Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Cottleville.
Because the amazing Master Tool Corporation, a subsidiary of Fly By Night Industries, has entrusted me, to show you the handiest and the dandiest kitchen tool you've ever seen. And don't you want to know how it works? Well, first, you get out an ordinary apple or two. You place the apple between, flatten your pan. Then what do you do, gang? It's simple. You reach for the tool. There's not a slicer, there's not a dicer, there's not a chopper and a hopper. What in the hell could it possibly be? It is
Sledge-o-matic!
Guys, Gallagher has died.
Oh, no.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
Gallagher, one of my favorites. I
Oh,
loved
man.
it. Big prop comic, but when you're a kid, it's awesome.
Yeah.
How
old was he?
I had to be in the 70s. Yeah,
76 years old. TMZ is reporting, according to his longtime manager, Gallagher had passed away. He had went into hospice care in Palm Springs on Friday. He had massive organ failure. He had suffered from ill health and numerous heart attacks over the years. So Gallagher, one of my favorites, and as a kid, I loved.
Oh, my God.
I loved Gallagher. We used to rent the video, the VHS.
Yep.
And that part of the show was the best. And I love the
It was
very
always
early
the
ones
obviously the finale would be.
where people in the front rows didn't realize they needed to bring plastic.
Oh, the one, yeah, the rookies.
Yes.
The noobs.
Yes,
The
and he
newbies
would-
were like, oh no, what's happening?
Yeah, he would take the fruit and the things, and he would smash them with the big
And
hammer,
his-
the
obviously
sledge-o-matic.
the what do you call it? The finale would be the watermelon.
The watermelon.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting how comedy has evolved over the past couple of decades. Steve Martin, you know, the arrow through the head, the
Yeah.
wild and crazy guy, he has said that he would not be funny today. He said, I would never make it today. Do you think Gallagher would make it today?
Well, not doing the same material, but I mean, you're a product of your time.
Sure.
So, like a guy like Gallagher or a guy like Steve Martin, if they're coming up now, they would be hilarious, but they would be different because they wouldn't have come up when they did.
It would be considered hacky because you would be copying people who have done it
Yes.
before.
Right.
At the time, nobody was like Steve Martin.
No.
Nobody was like Gallagher. That was the first time you'd ever seen anything like that. Now it would be considered just downright copying.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of people don't like or didn't like Carrot Top.
Yes.
But
they
I
don't
guess-
like the prop comedy because it's
that's
been
what
done.
that's what I was going to say. Prop comedy,
Yeah.
physical comedy, nobody does that.
The physical stuff people do.
On stand-up?
Yeah, not as much as
really.
they
I
used
don't-
to, but I mean it was a big thing as recently as Farley. Now that wasn't truly
That was
stand up
more in
though.
a sketch,
Yeah, that
but,
wasn't
yeah.
truly stand up. Yeah.
Guys, my trending is actually this guy over here, Chris Ranji.
What?
Tweeted last night at 10:25 p.m. Been flipping through cable news channels for most of the last 50 hours, and I've discovered the only thing I care about is the map. And then all caps, give me more map.
Yeah. Yeah, give me the map. Because all I care about is Kornacki and King. Just show me. And then I hate numbers. I hate numbers.
That's
but
not
I am,
a surprise.
I am mesmerized when these two guys are explaining, well, this county here, and then there's 75%, and then there's like probably 50, like they're doing math on TV,
And
and
they
they're
zoom
in the
in.
touch screen, and they zoom. Oh God, I
Right.
love it.
Right.
So then when they start going to commentary, and then I flip to the other one to see if they're back to the map, and they're not, and then I don't know what to do for several minutes till they go to the map again.
You gave me a flashback to like 1999, 2000, because my daughter loved the show Dora the Explorer,
Yeah.
and Map is a character. We got the map. It's a map. There's a whole map song.
Oh, I
we
wish
need
I'd
to
have
get you the
known.
map song.
Oh, I love it.
Dora the Explorer.
Oh boy,
Did she learn a lot of Spanish?
I don't know.
All
Maybe.
the Spanish I learned was from Sesame Street.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it works. You absorb it.
I learned it from my teammates in college.
Oh my gosh, in Florida.
Hey, did you guys know that?
Oh my
I lived in
God.
Florida for 4
Right.
years. Did you know?
We have to go to break.
We do. Coming up after the top of the hour, we're going to talk about an effort to get red flag laws in the state of Missouri. That'll be next on the show.
After years of hearing the commercials on KMOX, I decided to finally make an appointment with Ophthalmology Associates. You know the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates, Dr. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Busati, and Dr. Andy Royer. Well, I'd been hearing about dry eye, and I knew that I had dry eyes. Dr. Ranjan Malhotra told me that it's not just an irritating problem, it's actually irritating my eyes, and that it's so important to have dry eye addressed because it can actually scratch your cornea, cause greater damage, lead you to believe that your vision is getting worse. Turns out I don't need new glasses. I just need to address the dry eye situation. You should definitely check out Ophthalmology Associates. They are experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. Call for an appointment today, 314-966-5000, or online at youridoc.com, 12990 Manchester Road, just a half mile west of 270 eastbound on Manchester. Ophthalmology Associates. youridoc.com. Here's an energy efficiency tip from Quiver River Electric Cooperative. Thinking about purchasing new appliances? Consider both the purchase price and the cost to operate the appliance over its lifetime of 10 to 20 years. When shopping, look for the Energy Star label. These Energy Star qualified products exceed minimum standards for efficiency and quality. You can save about 15% of your normal energy use with these appliances. For more tips, visit quiver.com.
Buying a car is just a few clicks away at Bomarito.com. Choose new or pre-owned. See it today, drive it today. Shop thousands of vehicles and even buy 100% online with Bomarito Fast Pass. Schedule a test drive, get financing. What's more for your trade at Bomarito, and we'll deliver your vehicle to you. A better experience, a better price, and real service after the sale. Go with the automotive leader, Bomarito, Missouri's #1 automotive group. Open 24/7 at Bomarito.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Don't fall behind on your garage door maintenance. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis for our 26-point tune-up. It's only $89.95. That's one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Ous. Trusted by St. Louis homeowners since 1926. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlous.com or call 314-781-5200.
Sarah, how many times have you opened a door and been surprised by the amount of junk hiding behind it?
Lots of times.
Yes, and during junk reproductive season, we receive lots of boxes of new items, and there's no place to put them because all the storage spaces have gone JE.
JE?
Junk exponential.
Is this junk reproductive season?
Yes, Sarah, it is.
Have no fear. We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's a cloudy sky and 41 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, as Russia relinquishes its final foothold on Kherson, a Ukrainian regional official says he heard that there are Russians who have remained.
Serhii Klan says officials understand some part of the Russians stayed, changed clothes, and could not cross over, and they're now scattered around the city of Kherson and on the right bank of the Dnipro. The number of these people, he says, is not precise. He adds then, they had dressed in civilian clothes and were possibly preparing some provocations in the city. Ukrainian intelligence has posted a Russian-language statement on social media urging Russian troops, if any were left in Kherson, to surrender because Ukrainian forces are entering the city. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Ballots determining the outcome of key Senate races in Nevada and Arizona are still being counted. CBS News correspondent Scott McFarland has more.
Maricopa County, Arizona is an epicenter of attention right now because it has tens of thousands of votes remaining. It's a uniquely swing area in some elections. And in Nevada, there is such a narrow margin. What remains could be pivotal, likely going to be measured in days, not hours, till we get firmer results and possible projections.
It's a first in the Missouri Senate.
Elected by her Republican colleagues as rural Northeast Missourian Cindy O'Laughlin, shortly after her Senate caucus as the Senate's majority leader, Rather than gender, she told me she credited her selection to her efforts trying to find common ground among divided Republicans that had come close to making Missouri's Senate dysfunctional in the last couple of years.
That's KMOX's Phil Brooks in Jefferson City. Vice President Kamala Harris at Arlington National Cemetery laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. President Biden says the U.S. will implement many measures to tackle climate change. The president spoke at the COP27 summit in Egypt.
We immediately rejoined the Paris Agreement. We convened major climate summits and reestablished. I apologize whoever pulled out of the agreement.
The First Made Bank and Trust business desk. Could Twitter go bust?
Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter is not going smoothly. Musk told employees bankruptcy is on the table if the company can't generate revenue. Today, Twitter suspended his latest plan for revenue, the launch of Twitter Blue, that $8 a month plan to give anyone who pays a blue check on their account. The program has produced too many fakes. The move is to address that. Joan Doniger, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's down 261 points to 33,453. On the roads, there's debris, 44 going west past 141. The two left lanes are closed. Some more debris on 55 south before 141. Stalled vehicle 270 south before Olive in the left lane. Another stall 44 east at Kings Highway. Watch out there.
KMOX AccuWeather, it's going to be chilly, breezy. Some sun will break out. Temperature's going to stay steady in the low 40s. Cold tonight, down to 25 to 30. Colder tomorrow. We'll stay in the upper 30s. Low 40s, still cold with some sun on Sunday. Maybe some rain or snow showers Monday night, Tuesday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Steve DeVore in the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Times are always changing, but Penn Mutual stands the test of time. The 175-year young mutual company is leading the way in life insurance. Ask your independent advisor. Go to pennmutual.com/STL. Cloudy sky, 41 in Florissant, 40 in St. Peters, and 41 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than four? 314-441-4444.
It's 11:04 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Obviously, in the last couple of weeks following the tragedy at CBPA, we've had discussions with a number of people and amongst ourselves about red flag laws and whether or not a red flag law with this story behind us in the rearview mirror and informing decisions, whether a red flag law would have a chance to pass in the Missouri legislature. And we're going to find out because our next guest, Ian Mackey, is going to help us find out. He is the representative in the Missouri House of Representatives for District 87 and was elected to his first two-year term back in 2018. Ian, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. How's it going today?
It's going fine. Thank you all for having me, and thanks for having this important discussion.
Glad to do it. So started off from the basic first part of this. I mean, obviously, we all saw that there were no real ways to stop the CVPA shooter in advance, even though he had contact with police, even though the family had been reaching out for help and going through all of that. There was no real way to prevent him from having the weapon that he ended up using. So what do you, from your perspective, with the idea for putting out the red flag laws, what is the first part of this that you want people to understand about what you're trying to do?
Sure. This is a textbook case for why we need this law in place. The family contacted police as late as October 15th, just over a week before the shooting took place, begging officers to remove the gun, providing them with evidence that this young man was not in the mental state to be in possession of a firearm. Unfortunately, the police had no legal authority to do that. And it's because we don't have this law in place. This is a law that's in place in 20 states right now, including red states like Florida. This is not a partisan issue. This is a really basic common sense issue that police really, it's a tool that police officers need to prevent acts of violence like the shooting that took place at CVPA. This would have allowed the officers, when they were called on the 15th, to temporarily remove that firearm. And then then the young man would have had the opportunity to present his case before a judge, and the judge would decide whether or not that firearm should, again, temporarily be removed from the home and the issue be revisited at a later date.
So, what then is your reaction when you hear in the aftermath of it the governor say, and I'm paraphrasing, that the red flag laws wouldn't have stopped this?
He's wrong. He's just wrong on the facts. I don't know if he's familiar enough with the facts to make that statement, because I don't know anybody who is familiar with the facts that could, I think, make that statement with the intent of it being accurate. It just isn't. Like I said, between October 15th and October 24th, this red flag law would have allowed police officers to take possession of that firearm, and this would have put the issue before a judge to determine, most likely, that this young man was incompetent to possess a firearm, that this young man was going through some mental health issues that were presenting a risk of harm to himself and to others if he were in possession of this firearm. That is why these laws are in place in 20 other states. And if they were in place in our state on October 15th, that firearm that he used to kill those people on October 24th would have been removed from his possession.
So then the argument against it is, well, if it wasn't that weapon, it was going to be a different one, that he would find a way, that a criminal, you hear this a lot, a criminal will find a way to commit a crime. What is the response to that?
Well, we know, again, from the facts, how this young man came into possession of his firearm. He at first attempted to purchase a firearm from a commercial retailer. That commercial retailer ran an FBI background check and determined that this young man was not fit to possess a firearm and that he could not, under the new federal law, sell him a firearm. And so he was rejected at that sale. And as it turns out, he instead found a private seller. And Missouri is not a state that has closed, as we call the gun show loophole, or any other term we want to put on place for this loophole. The FBI background check is not required at private sales. And so this young man found someone willing to sell him a firearm that was not a commercial retailer, and he was able to purchase this firearm and possess it. And that's the firearm he used to commit this tragedy.
You mentioned Florida's red flag laws that were signed into effect by the Republican governor at the time after the Parkland shooting, and how they've been able to use those red flag laws to potentially prevent further violence, whether it's threats made to schools or domestic abusers who have threatened to kill a spouse. I know we see the public message in Missouri, which tends to be very strong Republican pushback against red flag laws. Are there any private conversations? Are there serious conversations happening behind the scenes that are crossing the aisle, or is the public message in line with the conversations that are happening in Jefferson City?
It's a great question. The conversations have increased a great deal following this tragedy. And I think it's because folks examine the facts. I've had sort of surface level conversations with a number of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. When I filed the legislation, when we talked about it, we did have actually Ron Hicks, a representative who's now not in the legislature anymore due to term limits, but was a representative at the time, filed a more narrow version of this bill directed just at that domestic violence issue that you talked about. So many domestic violence convictions are misdemeanors. And, there's no issue currently under Missouri law with someone who's committed a misdemeanor offense of domestic violence from possessing a firearm. And that's wrong. And I know a lot of Republicans, Ron included, we had a hearing on that bill. A lot of Republicans in our state agree with that. And I think, I hope it's unfortunate that tragedies like this are required for some folks to tap into that political will. But I think following this moment, I'm hoping that it doesn't take another one. I'm hoping that this is actually the cause. This is actually what will result in that political will from folks on the other side of the aisle to address this issue, because again, they've read the same facts and they understand that this could have been prevented.
Ian Mackey is with us. He represents parts of St. Louis County District 87 in the Missouri House of Representatives. Ian, you mentioned police earlier. Have you been in touch with law enforcement to get their kind of feel for this? And if so, what's the reaction you're getting from people in the policing arena?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a whole special session on crime a couple of years ago called by the governor, and we had police from every city in the state, every part of the state, rural, suburban, our two major cities down in the Capitol. And we asked them on the record, point blank, what is the number one issue that you are facing? What is the number one problem that you need help solving? And it wasn't more money. It wasn't more training. It was less guns. We heard it from chief after chief after chief after chief. We heard it from rank and file officers. We heard it from sheriffs. We heard it from everyone. We have too many guns, and we have guns in the hands of kids, and there's nothing we can do about it. We can't stop a 16-year-old who's carrying an AR-15 down the sidewalk. We can't stop him under Missouri law. And that is a problem. We heard that from folks on every side of the political spectrum that you can imagine who are members of law enforcement. We need to fix our gun laws, period.
So that's interesting to hear that you're hearing from law enforcement in different areas.
And
that
on the
say-
record.
And on the record that say, we want there to be fewer because the perception is they don't, which I've always thought sounds ridiculous, because why would you, if you're a police officer, why would you want to deal with more guns? That makes your job harder.
Right. No, we heard from plenty of officers on the record. I mean, there was a 60-minute story done about the Second Amendment Preservation Act, right?
Yep.
I mean, we have law enforcement officers suing the state over that. So, or departments suing the state over that. So, I think it's pretty clear where law enforcement stands on this issue. We have too many guns on the street, and we have too many guns in the hands of people that shouldn't have them.
I was going to ask you about the Second Amendment Preservation Act, and again, how that is really impeding law enforcement from doing their job, puts them in dangerous situation. I know the 60 Minutes special documented a case that there were multiple shootings, and the local law enforcement couldn't track them in a way that would allow them to know if it was the same person committing homicides, just down the highway a few miles, because they were afraid of being in violation of the Second Amendment Preservation Act. So it's not only that it impedes law enforcement from doing their duty, but it tries to deter them with potential punitive measures against them if they get it wrong.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, had officers acted on October 15th when they were at the home of the family of the young man who committed this shooting, had they put their hands on that firearm and removed it, had they said, look, he's going to do something really terrible tonight, I just have a feeling that this is going to go wrong, and they would take that gun out of that home on October 15th, they could have been sued for $50,000 for doing that under the Second Amendment Preservation Act.
Individually, right? Not the department, but the individuals.
Correct. Yes, they face civil liability for trying to save the lives of people that they are sworn to protect and serve. It puts them in a completely unreasonable position, and it's something we absolutely have to address.
When you talk about red flag laws, maybe there are people who are pro Second Amendment, are open to the idea of red flag laws, but there perhaps, there's always that fear that there will be abuse of power. When you discuss red flag laws, what procedural safeguards or burden of proof do you put in there so that citizens don't feel like their guns might be taken away from them, willy-nilly?
Right. Sure. No, great question. So, at each step of the way, at each step of the process, the orders are temporary throughout. There's never a permanent order under the legislation that I filed. So the first instance, if someone makes a case that the ex parte portion where, the parents of this young man or whoever else is in the home or whoever else is in contact with him that thinks, the case can be made that he shouldn't have this firearm, they have the opportunity to make that case to a judge without the young man present. But that if the judge issues an order for that firearm to be removed, it can only be removed for up to 14 days. It can only be removed for a total of 2 weeks before an individual such as this young man would have the opportunity to then present their case to a judge and present, whatever evidence they want to, a mental health evaluation, witnesses, family, friends, you name it, right? Present evidence to the court, to the judge to say, I should retain possession of my firearm. At that point, the judge can make a determination as to whether or not the person should be in possession of the firearm. And that order is only good for at most 1 year before the issue is then revisited. So it's a temporary hold throughout the process, and there is due process for folks who find themselves in this position.
What is a realistic timeline or whatever you might be shooting for, hoping that something does get done here?
I'm hoping we can do it next session. I mean, ideally, I know I and several folks, I speak for a lot of my colleagues in the St. Louis region, if there was ever a reason to call a special session and get this done before January, my gosh, this is it. I mean, we have kids going to school every day, afraid that this is going to happen to them. But, absolutely, I think as soon as we get started in January and February, this is something that ought to go to a committee. Look, I'll pass it off like I've done every other idea of mine to the member of the majority party, and we can get it put under their name and we can give them all the credit and they can get all the praise and we can get it done. But we should absolutely get this done as soon as session starts.
Ian, great information. Thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, we'll be tracking this and we'll maybe reach out to you again to revisit this if necessary down the road. Thanks so much.
I look forward to it. Thank you.
It. That's Ian Mackey, representing parts of St. Louis County, District 87 in the Missouri House of Representatives. I should mention that in the next week or so, we'll be reaching out to someone that may have the opposite view of that, kind of like we did with Amendment 3, right? On Amendment 3, over the last several months, we had people that were for it, people were against it, and for different reasons they were against it and for it. And we'll do that with this too. We're happy to have that discussion. It's just that when you kind of have the lead point being, police officers from all over the state were telling people in the House, this is number one. This is our concern.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be everybody's concern. I mean,
well, yeah. You would think
they're the ones on the street dealing with it. They're the ones with the practical experience.
The absolute worst argument that gets made a lot, as if it is a valid argument, is, well, if it wasn't this weapon, he was going to find one. Make him.
Yeah.
Make it. The job is to make it as difficult as possible for that kid to commit that crime a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Just
make it difficult.
Apply that logic to any other law.
Then we should have no laws.
Right. Exactly.
0 laws. Do whatever you want at all times. No repercussions ever.
What's the point? Hey, we have drug laws. People still take drugs.
It's
you
a
still
bad
have to try.
argument.
You still have to try.
It's a terrible, terrible argument.
All right. Today is Veterans Day, and obviously coming up at 11:30, we are going to talk to Command Sergeant Major retired Tom Satterly. He was part of the Delta Force group that you heard about or saw about in the movie Black Hawk Down. So we're going to talk about just that experience, but also what he's doing now to help veterans. So we'll be doing that coming up in just a little bit. Next up, we've got a story that is utterly fascinating and one that we're going to be exploring a little further in the next couple of weeks with some debris from the Space Shuttle Challenger that was found after all this time. Fascinating story. We'll give you a little teaser on it when we come back on the show.
To all of our men and women in the military,
thank you very much for your great efforts.
You are the reason why we have freedom.
Thank you very much for protecting our liberties.
Saluting America's veterans.
Thank you to all the vets out there.
We honor you on this Veterans Day.
Can't thank them enough.
Get 4 tickets to the St. Louis Aquarium when you donate your car to Goodwill. It's easy, towing is free, and you'll get a tax receipt too. Dive in and check it out at mersgoodwill.org.
Give hope. Give local. Give Goodwill.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. or call 314-328-8000.
So I have a new client to tell you guys about, Doctors Bertie and Malhotra from Ophthalmology Associates. You've heard about them for years. Charlie Brennan, Tom Ackerman, Trish Gazelle, so many personalities have gone to see these doctors. I recently went myself. I have a very slight prescription, but I have something called narrow angle glaucoma in my family, so I have to be really careful about that. I had the best exam I've ever had from the most courteous professional people I've ever dealt with. Put aside all the puffery, put aside all of my salesmanship. These are the best eye doctors in town. They're so professional, so competent. Their staff are so friendly. Everything about them, whether it's a LASIK procedure or it's simply eyeglasses or sunglasses, whatever it is, these are the guys. 314-966-5000. That's 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com for Doctors Birdie and Malhotra at Ophthalmology Associates.
We go where you go. 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
It's 11:22 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, course, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Raj, you found one of the most fascinating stories. I mean, I'm always interested in things lost that are found, in mysteries being solved,
like
and
my
things
wallet?
along those lines. Like your wallet, you lost your wallet?
Wait, you lost your wallet?
No.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not that. I'm on the grander scale.
When I was 16.
But when you that's have you solved the mystery? Did you find it?
Just real quick story. You remember Umbro shorts?
Yes.
Look, the cool kids
both
wore
the best,
Umbros.
the best and the worst shorts.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like a dumb idiot, because I'm 16, I put my wallet in my back pocket of my
and it
Umbros.
fell out,
went to see Jurassic Park and fell out in the theater.
Yep.
I went home, I realized, oh, my wallet's gone. And a couple of weeks later, it arrived in the mail without the money.
Yeah.
Because when you
Aw.
find a wallet, you drop it in the postal
There you
box. Yeah, so that works.
It worked out great. This is
anyway,
not nearly
this
that.
is way cooler.
Yeah, well, it's cooler. It's obviously not that pleasant of a story, but you found the story yesterday, Ron, that people deep sea diving, exploring, found a part of the Challenger.
That's exactly what happened.
That's crazy.
So they were trudging the Atlantic Ocean, and they were looking for World War II artifacts. It's a documentary crew, and they were looking for World War II stuff. There was a particular plane that they were in search of.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were on the sea floor looking around, they noticed this object, and they went over to it, and it turned out to be part of the Challenger, part of the Space Shuttle Challenger, which exploded in January of 1986. So a quote from the piece here on CNN: NASA currently is considering what additional actions it may take regarding the artifact that will properly honor the legacy of Challenger's fallen astronauts and the families who loved them. But what an amazing story. You're down there looking for an incredible artifact as it is.
Right.
And then you look over and you go, what's that?
Well,
And it happened to be a piece of one of the most well-known and tragic events in American history.
and you had the Challenger explosion in 1986, and then some debris washed ashore in 1996.
Yeah.
And that was it. This is the first piece of debris from the Challenger to be found since those pieces washed ashore in
Right.
1996. And that was such a visceral, vivid, and heartbreaking moment for all of America, because I know our attention is in a million different places right now. People don't sit down and watch one event in the same way that they did then. And then it was the first citizen who was supposed to be in space.
Yeah, the teacher,
Yeah.
Kristen McAuliffe.
Yep.
And 1986, I was 9. I was in 3rd grade. And that was the first real major event that was a tragic event that I was aware of what was going on in my lifetime. And I loved the space program. I don't know how many kids weren't fascinated.
I know,
with
everybody
space
wanted to
travel
be
and
an
the
astronaut.
shuttle, and
Yeah,
it was always the
Yep.
kind of thing you paid attention to because it was so damn cool. And that happened. Thankfully, we were not watching in real time, because I don't know how I would have handled that. That would have been really weird to see as a 9-year-old. A lot of classrooms around the country at that time, they would still, hey, the space shuttle's taken off, and they would wheel in a TV and you would watch it live. We didn't. And then I found out later, I think I got picked up for lunch or something. And I think my mom told me, and I was like, what? Because that's the kind of thing that, and it's really, we all had teachers. We're all in grade school. This was a grade school teacher that was on the shuttle. So that's really affecting to you because when you think about the teacher you have
Sure.
being on that shuttle at the time. So that was the first real American tragedy that affected me.
And just going back to the Discovery as well, my first thought was, well, if this has been in the ocean, for that long, almost 40 years, how did they recognize it as a piece from
Well,
the
they may not have
Challenger?
until they pulled it out, right?
Well, they said it was distinctive square tiles from the Challenger first tipped them off, suggesting that they had uncovered a large chunk of the underbelly.
Yeah.
Because the
The heat
underbelly,
shield.
yes,
Right.
was
Yep.
coated in thousands of silicon tiles to protect it from the heat.
Yeah.
So Mike Barnett, who was one of the explorers, part of that crew that found it, we're going to talk to him next week.
Nice.
I believe
It's fascinating stuff.
We've reached out to him.
I'm also curious about the other things they're looking for too, right? Like,
Yeah,
this
I
is a
mean-
big story, but what they're looking for, aside from that, as you point out, is really interesting.
I mean, I can't imagine a much more fascinating find than that. I mean, you're looking for wreckage of a World War II plane, and then is that part of the space shuttle?
We didn't
Like,
talk about it, but there were people exploring the Titanic, and what they found was a whole new ecosystem at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Life that they didn't know existed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this, that's why you got to get into the deep oceans. Been talking about that, right? Eventually, Amy, that's your thing, right?
I know
we
we
got to
want to go
explore
live
the
in
ocean.
Mars. We don't even know what's in the ocean.
We can do both.
Hey, coming up after the bottom of the hour news, we're going to catch up with Command Sergeant Major retired Tom Satterley, co-founder of the All Secure Foundation, talking about Veterans Day when we return.
The time has arrived to introduce a world-class stadium to soccer fans throughout the region.
To the left side of the box, he can pick a pass with the left foot of the byline. Cuts it
St.
back.
Louis City 2 host Bundesliga powerhouse Bayer Leverkusen at City Park in an international friendly.
Right foot ball in front. Olstruck, he scores!
History will be made Wednesday night. Pre-game coverage begins at 6, kickoff at 7. And you can hear it exclusively on KMOX and KMOX.com. We were built for this.
Hotel St. Louis is looking forward to sharing Thanksgiving at your home or ours. Bring your party to Union 30 or take Union 30 home. Either way, Hotel St. Louis does the hard part. Traditional turkey or ham with all the trimmings, sides, and desserts to choose from. Relax and enjoy the feast with your guests in your home or at the magnificent Union 30 in the historic St. Louis Hotel. To order or make reservations, call Union 30 this week at 314-241-4300.
Let's talk real estate for a minute. The St. Louis market is kind of tricky for home sellers right now, with home values going down and not selling as quickly. Now is not the time to risk losing precious equity on your home. This is Debbie Monterey, and I always recommend calling Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria's the best. She's experienced every type of market, both good, great, and the not so good. So before you list your home for sale, call Gloria, and here's why. Gloria Liu will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed to price and time frame, or she'll buy it herself, guaranteed in writing. Gloria already has the buyers, thousands of buyers in her database. In fact, your home may already be sold. Gary and Angela called Gloria and sold their home even before it listed because Gloria had several buyers looking for a home in that area. Call Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
At 11:30, it's cloudy and 42 degrees downtown at the Arch. Tropical storm Nicole is now a depression, dumping heavy rain in places from Georgia to New York. Flooding is still possible in urban and mountain areas, with as much as 8 inches of rainfall predicted for the Blue Ridge Mountains. Colorado voters passed a ballot initiative to decriminalize psychedelic mushrooms for people 21 and older and to create state-regulated centers where participants can experience the drug. Colorado becomes the second state after Oregon to establish a regulated system for the hallucinogens found in some mushrooms. A local ice rink is honoring veterans in a novel way this Veterans Day. East Alton Ice Arena has painted the names of veterans in its hockey and figure skating community on the ice surface. The names are color-coded: navy blue for Navy veterans, red for Marines, olive green for Army, and sky blue for Air Force. You can see a video of the tribute at KMOX.com. We've got some debris on 44 West past 141 in the left lane, a stall 270 south at Manchester on the right shoulder. And the forecast for this afternoon, temperatures steady in the lower 40s. We'll have some sunny breaks. Clear and cold tonight, low 25 to 30. For tomorrow, partly sunny and colder with a high of 38 degrees. It's 42 at the moment downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Brought to you by News Nation.
Chris Cuomo is back with a new show on a new network. Catch Cuomo weeknights on News Nation at 7 and 10 p.m. Central. To find News Nation on your television provider, go to newsnationnow.com/join us.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health, suicide, or substance use crisis, call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, trained crisis specialists will listen to your concerns, provide support, and get you the help you need. There is hope. The Lifeline works. For 24/7 confidential support, just call, text, or chat 988. A message from the Missouri Department of Mental Health.
The federal government is hiring 87,000 new IRS enforcement agents. Make no mistake, with spending out of control, they're looking to collect revenue. The first target will be you. If you have not paid your taxes or filed them in years, let me help you get that target off your back. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. So if you have unfiled returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Your home of the Cardinals.
Arenado swings and hits it deep to left field. That ball is out of here.
The Billikens.
Jumper. Yes! Billikens win.
The Chiefs.
Touchdown! Kansas City.
We are America's sports voice, KMOX.
It's 11:34 on the show. Chris Ranji, AB Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Obviously, today is Veterans Day, and we're going to be spending some time, not only now, but a little bit later on in the show today, too, recognizing those that have served and those that are currently active duty as well. And part of that here is welcoming Command Sergeant Major retired Tom Satterley to the program. He's also the co-founder of the All Secure Foundation. You'll know probably a good bit about Tom's story. Served 25 years, 20 of those in Delta Force. His unit's story is told in the movie Black Hawk Down. And Tom, we really appreciate you joining us. Thanks for doing it today. How are you?
Thank you for having me on, and doing well. Thank you.
Great. Well, we're glad to do it. And obviously, you know, we try to spend time outside of things like Veterans Day, Memorials Day, things like that, to make sure that we're talking about veterans issues and taking care of people who are or have served the country or are serving and have served the country. But this is a great opportunity to do it, and we didn't want to pass. I just wanted to start by having you kind of talk about how your service, your 25 years in the Army, kind of drove you towards the All Secure Foundation, putting that together and helping your fellow veterans.
Absolutely. Yeah, my 25 years and 20 being in special operations just kind of broke me as a human. I'd say it took away my empathy and compassion and made me more of a grumpy individual and with a negative outlook on life. And I think once I met Jen and she started to see this and working together with me and started to see it in a bunch of different special operators, and therefore most veterans probably decided to start a foundation and get to work. So we started with myself, trying to figure out how best to navigate the issues that I had been overwhelmed with over the years, and then learning how to look at life in a positive attitude versus a negative attitude. And then everything else kind of follows after that.
Can you explain some of the issues that you were dealing with after you left the military, PTSD, what that looked like and how it manifested for you?
Yeah, that looked a lot like isolation, feeling worthless, a lot of loneliness, and then the storytelling of how bad I am and my time on this earth is over with, and I've done my job and I'm no longer needed. And that kind of led me to drinking more and more to silence that voice or to feel something. And and that cloudy, the cloudy thoughts in my head, just started to take over my life. And so kind of getting past that and realizing that, there's another tribe out here and we're all one tribe, and that I was doing a job in that tribe and not what I am for the rest of my life. I could get to work on who I was as an individual and start healing.
Did you feel like you knew something was wrong? Because I know for some people it's there has to be some kind of intervention from people who love them, people close to them who realize something's not quite right. I mean, did you feel like something was wrong? And then how did you come to terms with it?
I felt I was wrong. I felt that everything I did was wrong. I'd looked at my life and all the bad decisions I'd made, and I just kind of focused on those. Meeting someone that helped me focus on the positivity of life and looking ahead instead of looking in my rearview mirror at everything I'd done. I started looking out the windshield at where I was going, and I could get busy on where I was then. It's one of those things where people are afraid to ask for help. So we kind of have coined the phrase, you don't really need help. You just need training in something you haven't been trained in before. And we kind of relate it to everything we did in the military that was difficult. If we didn't know how to do it, we were trained on it.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get good at it. We trained more and more. So we kind of equate that to your mental health, your relationships, the work you put into it, and the effort you put into it will be what you get out of it.
It's a great way to refocus the psychological side of it, right? I mean, a lot of the obstacles that people put up, not just veterans, but the obstacles that people put up are things that are a little bit more opaque, right? They're things that aren't as relatable. But what's more relatable if you're in the service than training?
Right. Everybody can relate to, I didn't know what job I was doing, whether I'm military or not, until somebody taught me. And I wouldn't know how to have a communication with my spouse unless somebody who works on it teaches me. So we all know that we use individuals that do their job and understand their job, and we use them to help us improve our job along the way. So we all have a part in the tribe along the way. And that thank you for your service, and everyone gets grumpy about it. It's like, just say thank you. And don't use it as a place where you're put on a pedestal and you think you're better than others as well, because we're all one of the same tribe working for the same goal.
And just so people have a clear picture of what your life was like while you were in the military. I mean, you were in the military for 25 years, 20 of them, you were on the front lines in the elite of the elite Delta Force. You were capturing and killing terrorists. You were rescuing hostages. And as we noted famously, you were in the Battle of Mogadishu. So that must have been 2 decades of an incredibly intense and focused life.
It was. And I can really look back to the day on 3 October when I sat there on the bed and I had relented to the fact that I was going to die that night. And I just kind of told myself, this will never happen again if I get out of here. And it gave me the strength to make it through that night. And then when I, woke up and realized I'd lived the next day, I kind of decided this won't happen again. So all I did was put my head down and train harder, which meant I kind of left my family behind. So that's why All Secure Foundation includes the families. And if the veteran or the service member isn't ready for help, then we start with the family member, because we know that they're also left behind. And this is a war-torn country, even though we don't know it looks like one, really.
Yeah, it's interesting that the timing there, Tom. I mean, that's that's the age where I was in my late 20s, and most of my life we weren't facing imminent threat, right? I mean, pre 9/11, I know there were obviously things going on around the world, and your unit, the Delta Force, you guys would be involved in that, but it wasn't like widespread. But we've seen more of it since 9/11 because of all of the deployments that followed. So I'm assuming there's even more people now that need this help.
There are absolutely more. The numbers of 22 a day are more like 48 a day. They don't count certain numbers. The numbers are getting worse. Active duty suicides have tripled 3 years in a row now. And with but the end of the war, people have a feeling of what's next? What do I do next? And now this hopelessness creeps up, and there's idle time, and there's time on my hands. So what do I do? And when we stop doing our job, we start to feel worthless. So it has increased a little bit, and we are working harder than ever, even though we've been, out of war for a year.
I've read your book, All Secure, a special operations soldiers fight to survive on the battlefield and the home front. And it, again, gives more detail about what your life was like in the Delta Force and how intense those battles were, how devastating Mogadishu was. And then you also say that, or mention that your PTSD cost you 3 marriages, ruined your health physically and psychologically. And there was one moment that I was just holding my breath. And that was the moment that your wife, Jen, really helped save your life when you were in a bad spot in a car, if you feel comfortable sharing that story.
Absolutely. We had just met, and we were just work partners really at the time. And we had a short trip. And I tell everyone this isn't, the suicide attempts don't happen over a weeks of planned period. It can happen in seconds. And the 2-block drive where I decided that the job I was doing was worthless. I was in everyone's way. I was divorcing a third time. And I just decided when I get to the parking garage and everyone's clear, I'm gonna take my own life and just be, make life easier for everyone else. And Jen had noticed that day that I wasn't cracking jokes. I wasn't as kind of open and fun as I'd normally been, and I wasn't focused. And she asked me if I was going to join her, and on walking in like I normally did. I lied about making a phone call or something, and she just noticed that something was different. And my 2 close friends took off, headed to the bar like we always would, and didn't really pay attention. And I think 10 minutes had went by and she started calling and texting, and I was sitting in the car thinking about it, and I'd already charged my weapon and I was ready to do it. And finally, just wondering why my phone was incessantly vibrating, I picked it up and I saw "You're late." And that changed everything for me, because I'm never late for anything. And I cleared my weapon. I thought, what am I late for? And I went running down there to see what was going on. And she just said, hey, let's go over and sit down and talk and figure out what's going on. I didn't tell her what had happened for a couple of months. And I realized then it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to stop somebody and change an action in their life. And all it took was a little bit of focus on her part. And that's how easy it is.
Wow.
And that's I guess what concerns me about a lot of veterans is maybe they don't have somebody, or the people who are in their lives don't really know. They know something's wrong, but they don't know what to do about it. They don't know how to start a conversation. They don't know how to identify exactly what's going on. So what would you suggest to people who are going through this or have a veteran in their family that they can tell that something is off? What is the right thing to do?
Post-traumatic stress is an injury like any other injury, and it can be healed. Jen and I no longer call it the invisible wounds of war, because I've seen what's going on in my brain on a brain scan, and I've seen what it looks like when it's healed with over-the-counter medication. So we don't like that it's the invisible wound of war. We don't like that it's a disorder anymore. It's an injury that can be healed, and I want everyone to know that there is somebody out there. If there's nobody on the planet, we're here. We want to help them. We want to show them that there's a path. It's going to be a lot of work, and they're going to have to get busy, and we're going to hold them accountable. But that's what it takes. They have the energy. They have the drive. They've already been through the military. They've already done the hard part. Now they can come back and reclaim their life, by working hard again with the right tools in a different direction.
So, Tom, let's talk about how we and our listeners can help you. It's allsecurefoundation.org. If you want to describe a couple of things that you do on the regular basis to help people out, to provide perspective. I know you've already told some of those stories, but how can people help you, even aside from just clicking on donate when they go to the website?
Yeah, we have programs on our website. We have connections to different modalities of healing that we've partnered with other organizations. And if we don't do it, we'll get somebody in the hands of somebody who does do it that we've already vetted. We do counseling 365 days a year. We do 4 to 6 couples retreats a year, and we go around and we speak at large organizations and military organizations to talk to the leaders and the new people about what to expect and how to look into the future and what's out there for them. And we do it nonstop. And it's easy to collect LinkedIn to Jen and I, is if you go to our website, every email goes directly to her and I, and we immediately connect people to where they need to be connected to and get them the help right away.
Tom, if there are veterans now listening who feel alone, like you mentioned, who feel like nobody understands what they went through or seen their friends killed or injured and are feeling that isolation, what would you tell them right now?
There is such a bigger, larger, more connected family out there that you're part of that you just don't realize yet. Once you pick up that phone, once you hit enter on that email, we're here for you. We have all the stories. I've done it all. There's no embarrassment. There's no judgment. There's only a way ahead, and there's only love in our family. And we understand what people have gone through, but we are going to hold people accountable to get to work on healing what they need healed. And it is a tough job, and it is a lot of work, but it's doable. And it's not hopelessness, that's for sure.
And there's one other thing I want to ask you about, and I think I know the answer, but we talked to a while ago Jason Kander, who was a congressman, and he is in Missouri, and he had PTSD, and he was never really intense conflicts like you were, but he still felt that because I think his life was in danger at times, or he felt always like his life was in danger. So I'm sure there are people out there who have been in the service who have some kind of PTSD, even though they weren't directly involved in battle, and then they feel guilty about feeling that way. So what do you tell them? What do you tell somebody who was like, I shouldn't, what am I upset for? Why should I be this way? Because I wasn't shot at. Like, what do you tell somebody like that?
I tell them the comparison is a thief of healing. Stop judging yourself. Stop putting yourself down. We're the worst critics of ourselves. You don't know what other people have gone through. People don't understand what you've gone through. And it's okay. It's not, like I said, it's not help. You're not broken. We're just going to redirect. You're going to get some more tools. You're going to get to work, and you're going to feel better again. You're not going to be that boy you grew up with or that little girl you grew up with. It probably won't go back to that, but you'll go back to a better version. I am so tired of people calling me saying, I was going to call you 6 months ago, 8 months ago, but my time's not like your time. Stop comparing. Be more curious and less judgmental, and just get the help that you need.
Tom, is great stuff. And again, I just want to say thank you for everything. I know it can be trite. It's Veterans Day and everybody's doing the thank you for your service and all that. But thank you for continuing and helping people that made the same choice with their lives that you did. The information is great. Everybody should be checking out the allsecurefoundation.org. A lot of great resources there, programs available, the stories of Tom and obviously his wife who helped found the organization. You guys are doing great work. Thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to keeping the message going and talking to you again down the road.
Always a pleasure, and thank you for having me on.
You got it. That's Tom Satterly, Commander, Sergeant Major, retired from the U.S. Army, 25 years in the Army, and as we mentioned at the beginning, 20 years Delta Force. So, and keep in mind, at the time, those special units were a lot of the only ones really seeing action and deployment. There wasn't a big scale presence in Iraq or Afghanistan when you're talking about the 90s. The movie Black Hawk Down, in which his unit is featured, and he's featured in that as well. He's portrayed in that movie. That's from 2001, but that's all done. All that action was pre 9/11, so it's a completely different world. And now the number of people that have seen those kinds of things, and if you've seen that movie, they saw a lot.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult.
Multiply that by factors of hundreds when you're talking about the number of people that went and served in Iraq and Afghanistan.
And I will say, if you want to learn more, Tom Satterly has a book, All Secure, a special operations soldiers fight to survive on the battlefield and at the home front. It is really, really good. I think I read it in one sitting. I know I couldn't put it down, and he details more what it was like to serve in Delta Force. He details what he experienced at the Battle of Mogadishu, and also how PTSD threatened to ruin and almost take his life, and how he was able to fight back and give veterans and families of veterans hope.
And the website for anybody who needs it, allsecurefoundation.org.
And many thanks to Tom. And look, we thank everybody blanketly on these days. And as he put it, it can come across as routine as opposed to simple and meaningful, but really appreciate the work that he and the foundation are doing. And obviously we appreciate everybody's service, both active and retired. All right, a little bit more on Veterans Day for you next up on the show.
Help a child's Christmas wishes come true by adopting an angel tree this year as a part of the Salvation Army's Angel Tree program. And it's so easy to adopt an angel right from your cell phone. Visit SalArmyMidland.org. On the website, you'll see a list of angels and their Christmas wishes. Select the angel you wish to adopt by November 29th and enter your information. Go to SalArmyMidland.org and adopt your angel today. That's SalArmyMidland.org.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold at Newbold Toyota. Since we led the St. Louis Metro in Toyota sales in August, the factory gave us a whole bunch of cars. So come see us, Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks DayQuil Severe for max strength daytime relief. Just one dose of Vicks DayQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through your day with Vicks DayQuil Severe, the daytime non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, 9 to none medicine. Use as directed.
Ask yourself, what am I doing to guarantee I will have adequate inflation-hedged income that I may never outlive? Why not make sure your future income is growing and may last as long as you do? Call for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233. And also join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio.
An important message from SNL Coins Gold and Silver Buyers. SNL Coins Gold and Silver Buyers pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, diamonds, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver. Get a quote with a call to SNL 544-3600, SNL Coins 544-3600, or visit SNL 9300 Gravois just east of Mackenzie, 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call SNL 544-3600.
At Busey Bank, we're proud to connect communities through financial outreach and economic opportunity. Building a stronger, more vibrant community, Busey offers tools and resources to individuals, families, and business owners to achieve financial success. Building strong financial futures, one family, one street, one city at a time. Busey Bank, member FDIC.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from thegelmanteam.com. If you want immediate cash for your home or to see what your home is actually worth in today's market, find out for free from the local experts. That's my friends Mark and Neil Gelman at thegelmanteam.com.
Furnish hope right here in St. Louis. Donate your unneeded furniture and household goods to Home Sweet Home. Visit www.homesweethomestl.org to learn more.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Planning a road trip this fall? Maximize your fuel economy by inflating tires to proper pressure and packing light. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 314-720-8081.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Who is this guy?
Kevin Wheeler.
With exaggerated mouth and tongue movements.
On the show.
All right, coming up on 11:55 on the show. Reminder, 1 o'clock, our buddy Mike Claiborne is going to be joining us. We have, let's see, what do we got? Oh, we got our show recap coming up after the top of the hour. Draft next hour. So we're drafting political phrases that we don't now have to hear for another 18 months. Although we're going to hear some of them for another month or so.
Can we just expand it to political stuff?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's
political
go. Stuff we don't want to hear anymore.
Stuff that we're done with.
Yeah.
That we hate.
Let's go.
I've got so many right now.
You guys can
I'm,
send yours
giggling.
too when we get there. We'll have you text us some of your slogans / messages / whatever things you just don't want to hear anymore. Because now that election season has passed, I know we're still 2.5 years away from the next national election, but oh my God, it's going to start already. It's already starting. They're already bickering about who's going to nominate and who's going to declare for running and all that kind of stuff.
Thank God.
This isn't on my list, so I can say it, but I just keep kind of laughing to myself because the Darren Bailey, J.B. Pritzker race is over. And all I know about Darren Bailey is he's a farmer. And that was like really,
I know.
that was reiterated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really know much about him except he's a farmer.
All I know is the people who play by the rules pack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good Lord, what a stupid name
That's
for a
kind
pack.
of a lame name.
It
I
is
don't know.
so
Maybe they're great
lame.
people. I don't know.
It's so lame.
So
By the
that'll
way,
be our draft coming up at 12:30.
Guess who won last week's draft?
I don't
So
know.
our draft
Oh, I
last week
know.
was political scandals.
You crushed it.
I didn't think I was going to win. But
You have really been crushing the draft game.
yeah. So I won with 64% of the vote.
Unbelievable.
Kevin had 19 and Amy had 16.
Yeah, that was crazy. I thought Watergate was going to get me more.
Well, I had Clinton Lewinsky, Chappaquiddick, the $200 haircut, Dukakis with the tank, and Kennedy and Maryland.
I think you won on the Monica Lewinsky scandal. I
You
think
did
that's
have
the one.
Watergate, though. That's pretty good.
I know.
But
How does
Kennedy-
Watergate not do better than that? That's not even.
I had
I
the
don't know.
tan suit.
Yeah, you had the
Yeah,
tan
you had the
suit.
tan suit. All right, we're getting back to the top stories of the day next here on the show.
Carol Daniel for the Doctor's Doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Take a look around you, your wife, or the highway right in front of you. We use our eyes to take in the world around us, but if you have a disease of the eye like glaucoma or itchy eye, or like my husband, you suffer from dry eye, seeing the world around you is a little more difficult. Dry eye can impact your vision at night. It can cause burning of the eye. Call Ophthalmology Associates at 314-966-5000 to set up your appointment today. I was so glad to go see the Doctor's Doctors at Ophthalmology Associates at 12990 Manchester Road. What a friendly staff and a thorough exam by Dr. Greg Birdie. There's a reason they're called the Doctor's Doctors, because they've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any other practice. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer, experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. Ophthalmology Associates. Call 314-966-5000 or learn more online at youridoc.com.
Sure, we all love to have a clean home, but what about the things that you can't see that are making your home dirty? I'm talking about germs, bacteria, mold, and more. This is Debbie Monterey, and you really need to call Beam of St. Louis if you want a truly healthy home. Beam of St. Louis can provide you with a whole house HEPA air filtration system that provides HEPA pure air 24/7 in every room in your home. It'll help reduce allergy symptoms without a prescription. For the healthiest home possible, make sure you have a Beam Central Vacuum System. It removes 100% of the collected germs, bacteria, mold, and dust. So, a Beam Central Vacuum System and a Beam Whole House HEPA air filtration system. The folks at Beam of St. Louis are great to work with, fantastic customer service, one-day installation. Give them a call at 314-567-1515 or online at beamstl.com. That's Beam of St. Louis. You'll be glad you called.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The roller coaster. No matter your age, no matter the amusement park, it never ceases to bring the emotional goods, the anticipation, the excitement. And then the fear and adrenaline rush that comes with the king of all rides. The same can be said when it comes to your retirement. Lots of questions and concerns that for some can feel like a roller coaster. Will you be able to continue to live as comfortably as you do now? Will you have complete financial independence? Will you run out of money? How about taxes, Social Security, or healthcare? Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group can answer these questions and more with their in-depth portfolio x-ray. Call 636-230-8824 or visit theallfinancialgroup.com. And let's save the fear and adrenaline rush for the amusement park.
Investment advisory services offered by All Financial Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor in Missouri. Insurance products are offered through its affiliate, All Insurance Group, LLC, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 noon, it's a cloudy sky and 42 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. President Biden says the U.S. is keeping its commitment toward fighting climate change and urges other nations to commit to reducing greenhouse gas emissions.
At the UN's COP27 summit in the Egyptian resort town of Sharm el-Sheikh.
The climate crisis is about human security.
President Biden says the U.S. investment in green energy pays off in several ways.
We're proving that good climate policy is good economic policy.
He's announced a new regulation to crack down on methane emissions considered worse than carbon and renewed the U.S. commitment to cut greenhouse gases in half by 2030.
We can no longer plead ignorance to the consequences of our actions or continue to repeat our mistakes.
The U.S. has invested some $375 billion over a decade to fight climate change. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
Russia claims it's completed its withdrawal from a key region in Ukraine, as CBS News correspondent Cami McCormick reports.
Ukrainians in Kherson celebrated the news. They raised a flag over the city's government building. The Russians claim they withdrew 30,000 troops across the Dnipro River without losing a soldier. The Ukrainians claim otherwise. They say many Russians ditched their uniforms and weapons, and some drowned while trying to flee across the river. It is one of the most humiliating Russian retreats since the war began.
Twitter's relaunched premium service, which grants blue check verification labels to anybody willing to pay $8 a month, is unavailable after the social media platform was flooded by a wave of imposter accounts approved by Twitter. Veterans Day ceremonies are being held today throughout the nation in communities big and small.
Many Veterans Day tributes in northern Wisconsin are held in schools. This Vietnam vet says in recent years, there seems to be a greater appreciation for men and women who serve in the military.
Communities put on these ceremonies, a lot of restaurants and businesses giving free meals or discounts to veterans.
But the honors bestowed on veterans is bittersweet.
I'm 71. The WW2 vets are dying. Korea is next. Our Vietnam vets. We're disappearing.
Bruce Marcus for CBS News, Eagle River, Wisconsin.
Vice President Kamala Harris thanked veterans for their service on this day. She spoke at Arlington National Cemetery.
I have seen firsthand how America's armed forces protect the highest ideals of our nation around the world.
The First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, mortgage hunting.
Some good news for home buyers. Mortgage rates dropped more than 0.5% Thursday after October's CPI suggested inflation may be cooling. The national average for a 30-year fixed mortgage dropped 60 basis points to 6.62% after running above 7% for the last few weeks. Erica Herskowitz, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's down 147 points to 33,568. And right now there's a stall 270 south past Doherty Ferry on the right shoulder. Stall 370 east past 94's got the right lane closed. Stall 270 south at Manchester's on the right shoulder. And look at the weather forecast.
Breezy, much chillier this afternoon. Some sun will break through, but temperatures are going to stay in the low to mid 40s, down in the upper 20s tonight. And then within a few degrees of 40, a cold weekend. At least it's dry. That cold air continues to be pushed in, and we could see some rain or snow showers Monday night, Tuesday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Steve DeVore on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It's a cloudy sky, 41 in Florissant, 41 in St. Peters, and 42 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than four? 314-441-4444.
All right, 12:04 coming up on 12:05 on the show. Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks, Chorus, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Our weekly Friday draft will start in the next segment, and we're going to be drafting the worst things about elections.
Huh.
Well, there's a lot there.
Election season?
No, just elections. The worst things about elections.
Oh,
and by the way, we'll be happy to take your texts on those messages, 314-436-7900. If you would like to participate in our draft in a roundabout way, we'll talk about a lot of, because we're not going to get to all of the terrible things about elections because there are thousands of them.
And
but we'll get to the ones that we can think of starting in the next segment.
But just so people understand, we're not saying that there shouldn't be elections.
No.
Like, democracy is great.
Hey, look, we all love the holidays, but there are still bad things about the holidays.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
think
the
anybody
worst-
loves elections, but I think we love that they exist.
Democracy, what is it, Thomas Jefferson? It's the worst form of government other than all the other forms of government.
Yeah.
Yeah. That might not have been Thomas Jefferson.
And I think it was Einstein. Yeah. And he also said insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. which, by the way, is one of my least favorite
Winston Churchill.
platitudes.
It was Winston
Oh.
Churchill said that democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others that have been tried.
Ah, that's it.
Yeah.
I love a good platitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about what happened with the election and still kind of going over the results of it. And we're still waiting for some results. We are waiting for Nevada, the Senate race, though it looks like that is going to end up going to the Democratic Party. I think Kelly's going to win that, right?
Yeah, I believe that's
No,
been
he's
called.
Arizona.
I'm sorry, Arizona. He's
Yeah.
going to win that. We're still waiting for Nevada.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. But
Yeah.
Arizona, I
And
think
then obviously Georgia.
Kelly's race has been called. My
Yeah,
understanding.
they I think. Well, I don't know
Officially
if it's official,
called?
but there are outlets that are saying
Okay.
he's going to win.
Okay.
Here's an interesting statistic about Election Day because we were talking about the reasons why there was not a red wave and why Democrats fared really well. And in fact, this midterm election was the worst showing by an opposition party in midterms since the Democrats lost House seats to Republicans in 2002. So it's been 20 years since the opposition party has seen a worse showing at midterms, which is saying something when you look at the complaints that have been levied against the situation we're in with inflation. A lot of people worried about rising crime, COVID restrictions, policies, school closings, all of that. Still, the Republican Party did not do well. I think this is indicative of what was motivating voters as well. One of the things motivating voters. So for 27% of voters, abortion was listed as their top issue. And 76% of voters who listed abortion as their number one issue voted Democrat. The Dobbs decision absolutely motivated voters,
Sure.
motivated women, and probably younger voters
And
as well.
the Gen Z. We've been spending a lot of time over the last couple of days talking about the young vote coming out, which was very heavily underrepresented in the polls.
Yeah, and partly because they don't reach them, right? I mean, Gen Z people are less likely to answer a random call from a number they don't want to. I don't do
I'm
it.
Gen X and I don't answer.
I know, and I think that they need to be doing more via text and some other ways of reaching out to get a better feel for that. But their issue isn't the economy. They're not worried about any of that. I mean, yeah, they care about what things cost now, but they don't have 401ks going in the tank. They're not worried about any of those things. The younger voters are worried about more immediate things. And yes, the economy impacts them, but they don't have money anyway.
Right.
So it's not like it's that big of a difference. They are caring more about the environment. They care more about Roe. They care more about those types of things.
Well, I do think that younger voters also think ahead to when I do get a job, are there going to be good jobs available for me?
Sure.
And I think Republicans can be encouraged that this might mark a reckoning for the Republican Party, that Trump-backed candidates were not overwhelming favorites. In fact, a lot of them lost. Every single gubernatorial candidate who refused to say that person would certify Joe Biden's election lost, with the exception of Carrie Lake, which
who's
is still being decided.
Yeah, it's still pending.
A lot of Trump-backed candidates did not win, and that is not a surprise. Again, not to harp on this, but one reason I am, it's because the GOP has to decide which direction it's going to go. Is it going to go the more classic, true conservative trajectory, maybe the more Reagan Republican, or is it going to go the Trumpy MAGA way? And what's interesting is Trump lost control of the elected branches of government faster than any other president since Herbert Hoover, which is a long time ago and not in the most uplifting era of American history.
I don't think we know how that long-term direction's going to go when it comes to the Republican Party, but we know that there's a fight right now starting because Donald Trump's throwing punches already. I mean, he was taking punches at Ron DeSantis yesterday.
Ron DeSanctimonious.
Ron
DeSanctimonious and Glenn Youngkin.
We should all have names like that. What would we gotta have Ron?
Well, I'm Marxist cores.
Amy,
That's right,
well,
you're
you just be
Marxist
in the Trump nickname, Ron. You would just be Rongy.
Oh,
Wrongy.
so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you think about the way that these goes.
By the way,
you would be Marxist cores.
Marxist cores.
I mentioned what the Glenn Youngkin Truth Social post. I mentioned that he posted one about Youngkin today. didn't tell you what it said.
Yeah.
So this was Donald Trump this morning on Truth Social. And Glenn Youngkin, that's one word. Youngkin is one word.
Mm-hmm.
He spells it Young Kin, K-I-N.
Like 2 words.
2 words.
Not Glenn. Trump is spelling it.
Yeah,
Trump is spelling it on Truth Social in his post, Young Kin. So he says Young Kin, and then in parentheses, now that's an interesting take. Sounds Chinese, doesn't it?
Now, I can see I don't know how he does this. I can see the young kin thing happening if you're doing like voice to text, because that's how we would hear it. It would hear it as those 2 words, but that's a really stupid comment after that.
He says young kin, and then he says the thing about sounding Chinese. Young kin in Virginia couldn't have won without me. I endorsed him, did a very big Trump rally for him telephonically, got MAGA to vote for him, or he couldn't have come close to winning. But he knows that and admits it. Besides, having a hard time with the Dems in Virginia, but he'll get it done.
Any
I don't know.
Any posts from him on the Truth Social about his backing of Mehmet Oz?
No,
that's Melania's fault.
Or
apparently.
what's his name? The governor candidate in Pennsylvania that lost.
So he also backed Don Baldick
Mastriano.
in
Mastriano.
in New Hampshire.
So he's not bragging about those?
Well, Don Baldick in New Hampshire, running for a Senate seat against Maggie Hassan, he said that Don Baldick, all his momentum was when he was pro-Trump, and that Don did not deny the election enough.
Oh.
And that
how'd that work for all the other ones that did keep doing it?
Right. And he was saying Don backtracked too much on the stolen election. And if he had pushed harder that the election was stolen for Trump, that he would have won.
If I put you, both of you, in Ron DeSantis' spot right now, what's your response to what you've seen the last 24 hours? And I don't mean although I do mean the results of the elections and all of that too. I mean, like what you've seen this week. If you're Ron DeSantis and now you're being called out, you're being picked on by Trump, what is your reaction? How are you handling it?
If I said anything at all, I'd probably just say something about how childish all of this is.
See,
because if I have national aspirations, I think there is a huge appetite on the part of the Republican Party across the country that is tired of Trump. There are Republicans tired of Trump and want him to go away. So if I'm DeSantis and I have legitimate aspirations of becoming the president in the future, I would just very calmly say this kind of stuff is childish and is not helping the Republican Party move forward.
See, I think I would do a different tactic if I'm Ron DeSantis. What all of Trump's loyalty and momentum comes from him convincing people that he is being attacked. He doesn't have to say any policy. All he has to say is they're coming after me. And then his most loyal supporters surround him. So if you're Ron DeSantis, you don't respond to Trump at all in this moment. People have short memories. You let all of this red wave stuff die down, and then you strike with your, whether it's your immigration policies or, your pushback against COVID restrictions, all of that, you strike then, so that what you're doing is you're garnering new supporters rather than riling up the Trump supporters who are just looking for something to get them riled up.
And that's what basically I'm saying is that if you say anything at all, I would do it what I just said, but I think I would prefer to just let it go.
Don't engage.
Let it go.
He doesn't need Trump. He is one of the few politicians who has used Trump rather than being used by Trump. And I absolutely think DeSantis is just strategically trying to determine when is the best time to make his intentions known that he is running for president.
I'm going in. If I'm Ron DeSantis, I'm going in right now. This fight is going to have to happen.
This is the
it's
least
gonna have to.
shocking
I know,
thing.
but it's going to have to happen. You are having this fight if you're going to run in 2024.
But you can't play by Trump's rules.
No, I'm not playing it that way. But I'm not sitting back and being quiet. I'm not going to play the name calling nonsense either. I'm going to talk about my success in Florida and how we flipped a state that's always been a bellwether to hard red. And we did that, and we did it with common sense. We didn't do it with conspiracies.
And I could see that because I suppose if there's ever been a time where it seems like Trump, you could put him away for good, maybe now is it. Because if you give him time to collect himself and to regroup,
I'm telling
he's
you,
going to come back.
You get them when they're down,
So
man.
I see that point too.
Yeah.
If you call names.
I'm not doing
really.
that.
No, but if you do.
Behind the scenes, though, I would.
How could you not put Trumpalago out in the public discourse?
I would. It's my name, though. I came up with it.
Trumpalago is amazing.
Hey, listen, you just stay down there at Trumpalago, buddy. I'll take care of running the state. Enjoy your time as a guest in my state.
Like, you could just talk about how you don't have any baggage,
Should
like
go
Trumpalago.
all WWE. Just start. Just like have an event, a rally where you come out like with the big explosions and. No, don't do that. I'm kidding. All right, we got our weekly draft coming up next, and we are drafting the worst things about elections. You want to submit your ideas? 314-436-7900. You can also leave a voicemail, 314-944-1120. We'll be drafting all those terrible things next up on the show.
Guys, it is time. It is time for you to get that annual eye exam. And the good news about the annual eye exam is that most insurances will help you take care of that. So no better time than right now to give the doctors a call. Those are the people at Ophthalmology Associates. And at Ophthalmology Associates, what they'll do is they'll set you down and they will take a really close examination of your eyes, tell you what the problems are. It could be something very small like dry eyes, or like me, my tears are a little saltier than normal, which can lead to some slight vision trouble. But you might have something more serious that they can help you get to the bottom of, like high blood pressure or macular degeneration, or maybe down the line, it'll be time for you to get LASIK. They can do that there too at Ophthalmology Associates. So here's what you do. Give them a call, 314-966-5000. That's 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
We pause today.
Can you ever thank somebody enough?
To remember.
We love you. We care for you.
Those who have served.
People who were veterans who served in the different wars.
Saluting America's heroes this Veterans Day.
Thank you for helping defend our freedom and our great country.
The holidays are upon us. Call Zero Res now before the rush. Get 3 rooms Zero Res clean starting at just $129 and get a free room of fiber protectant for an $80 savings plus $50 off your air ducts. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Cardinals fans, turn a double play at the official Cardinals team store and Cardinals Authentics shop. Find the latest in Cardinals apparel, something for the home or office, and more at the official Cardinals team store. Then check out the Cardinals Authentic Shop at Ballpark Village with unique game used, autographed, and collectible memorabilia. Both are located at Busch Stadium and open daily from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Cardinals Team Store and Authentic Shop. Now that's a winner.
CertaPro painters have powers beyond those of ordinary painters.
The power of timeliness.
We show up when we say we will, on time and fully caffeinated.
The power of transformation.
Also known as making your house look so good, your neighbors will be jealous.
The power of certainty.
That's your local CertaPro painters. The power of pro. Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance. And you better watch out, because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The voice of St. Louis. News that matters to you. KMOX.
The show and the draft.
The draft.
Building the perfect team.
I love the draft.
It's the draft.
More draft.
On the show.
All right, drafting the worst things about elections today. Figure it's a good way to end election week. 314-436-7900. 7900 if you want to text us, 944-1120 if you want to leave a voicemail to offer up your it's not, we're not really drafting, but just to get in the conversation. Because look, we all love that elections exist, but we all hate elections.
Yes. That is exactly it.
It's the worst. And actually, it's the things surrounding the election that I hate, not the election itself. Election itself's fine. I mean, it's just you take the paper, fill it out, put it in the machine, boom, done.
I mean, the process is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started.
You're first, buddy.
I am drafting number 1. All right. Worst things or bad political things, bad things about elections.
Mm-hmm.
My number 1 overall selection, and I think this is an absolute no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the Trevor Lawrence of picks.
Nice.
This is the Michael Jordan. He didn't go number 1, but he should have.
Yeah.
This is the Michael Jordan of picks. Political ads.
Oh, you're just taking them all.
You're taking them all.
What do you mean?
No, that's okay. That fits.
Just it doesn't.
Yep.
The fact that they exist is the worst.
Yep.
I hate political ads.
I'm with
and
you.
I know that we have to run some of them. I know every station's doing it. Every TV station. You can't get away from political ads. Hate them.
Nice. I'm with you.
All right, Kevin, you're number 2.
The fear of debates and interviews. In other words, I only want to play on the friendly fields. I'm only going to talk to the people that will agree with me and pat me on the back. Debates should be mandatory. You should have to do them, not on your terms. Just do them and not be afraid to take questions or be questioned. So I don't know if you want to call it cowardice, if you want to call it fear of debating or being questioned. I don't know how you want to but that the cowardice is what pisses me off probably as much as anything. If you believe something, stand up for it, explain it, and talk about it. Don't just go, my friend over here is going to be really nice to me and won't ask me any mean questions. And you want to be governor, senator, president, whatever, you can take my mean questions, weenie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, I have to work with you every day.
And
Josh Hawley can have one conversation with you.
These two got to do it every day. So
Yeah.
someone like that should be able to handle it for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. it's the worst.
And now a lot of politicians don't want to talk.
I'm only going to go on the network that's going to be nice to me.
Back in
Get
the day, Claire McCaskill always joined KMOX no matter who was hosting, which was very awesome. Mine is spammy calls and texts.
Oh,
spammy
robocalls
calls and texts.
Spam. That might be the winner right there.
Would that be good? Considered robocalls?
No, yes.
It's both. Yeah, it's
I
both.
would say spammy though, because robocalls are often
but you're being spammed
ones.
with calls.
Campaign phone calls. How about that?
Yeah,
and texts. You get them both. They happen with your phone.
I got a lot of texts.
Robocalls could also be the random ones. I was getting one from Thailand for a long time, and that's not political. That was just a
but we're
robocall.
talking about elections. You can be general there. Yeah.
General
that might be a winner.
election.
But Ron, she made the Jordan. That might be the Jordan of this draft, going 3rd overall and being the greatest of all time.
All right. So it's my turn?
Yes, sir.
My number 2 pick, which is number 4 overall.
Yeah.
Independent candidates.
I
hate.
Yeah, but you're over here like, I want Chase Oliver on the show.
Yeah, I want to have him on to find out what's wrong with him.
Oh, okay.
Independent candidates.
Yeah.
Just all they do is muck things up. Is there anything worse than an independent candidate that has no chance of winning?
It's like when you have a party and you know it's going to be a great party as long as that one guy doesn't show up.
Like, oh God, the independents
that
are
guy.
great. Oh, great.
Told him not to. Timmy, I told you not to show up.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, Kevin, it's you. Number 2 pick.
Money. We are spending too many billions of dollars on this nonsense. We got to make it less about money. The money really irritates me.
So would you put PACs in that? Super PACs?
Well, I mean, just the amount of money spent.
Okay.
So yes, super PACs, mini PACs,
Paxlovid.
Go PACs, you name it.
All right.
All right, my number 2 draft pick, runoffs.
Oh, that was on my board too.
I'm sick of
That was
runoffs.
on my board. My
Just have
God.
the one that gets the most win, right?
Oh God, it's the worst. I totally agree with you. I hate runoffs.
Yep.
Like the fact that we're doing this now again. Oh, yeah. Okay. And to go along with that, which I think is a very similar idea, results 5 weeks later. Can't we know like the next day? Why does this take so long, Arizona and Nevada? Why do you have stupid rules?
Yeah.
Don't have stupid rules. We can know what's going on in Arizona and Nevada by now.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin?
Third pick, my third round pick. This one might be a starter from day one.
Okay.
The Culture Wars. I am
So am I.
sick of your way of life and blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, stop. Just stop. Your opponent is not your enemy. Your enemy are the people outside of the U.S. that want the country to fail. Your opponent is just your opponent.
Yes.
Argue ideas. Stop with the culture war nonsense.
And for my third overall pick, I am going with stolen election claims. I'm so tired. I'm like, what?
All right.
I didn't lose?
So I had on my list voter fraud claims. Same thing. So
Yeah.
you're getting voter fraud
Yep.
claims.
Yep. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
That's just.
I
Ugh.
can't wait for my last one.
Oh my gosh.
We got to keep it.
Okay.
Moving.
My number 4 pick, undecided voters. How are you undecided?
What are you
What have you
doing?
been doing? I'm undecided. Court me. I'm an independent. What do you mean you're undecided?
Undecided. That's good.
How much more do you need?
Yeah. All right. My last pick here is essentially party over all. When it's the party over the country, party
Partisan
over
politics.
over qualifications, party over common sense.
Party as a sports team.
That's right.
Yes.
That's a
party
good
as
way to put it.
sports Team.
Yep.
Partisan blinders is
Yep.
what I was going to say. And for my, I guess, last one is, love this, guys, radical liberal agenda.
God, you know what?
Wait, hold on. Does that not fall into the culture wars?
No, that's
it's just
totally
the
different.
phrase.
It's the phrase.
Oh, just the phrase
Radical
itself. Okay.
agenda.
Okay.
Radical agenda.
Honestly,
God.
We can give you all of them and not just the radical liberal one, because there are radical other, like, you're too radical for.
You could just say radical agenda.
Radical
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah,
if I hear the
radical
two
agenda.
words radical agenda together in succession, I want to punch both of you.
And maybe even just the word radical. Maybe
I
just
like
that
radical
because
agenda together.
because
Yeah,
the
I agree.
radical thing that was being thrown from the left to the right this time around was the election stuff.
Oh my
That's
You're
God.
too radical.
That's
Do-
my band name.
Oh my God.
We are radical agenda.
Let's go.
Do we
That would be a
need
punk
to,
band.
when we come back, do we need to do a bonus pick?
All right, we can do a bonus pick,
What?
but we also got some text messages at 314-436-7900. Some other ideas being thrown out there this week, drafting the worst things about elections.
Election night, more than just winners and losers.
With results of election 2022.
We hold candidates to account,
They just came up to us and said they're not taking any questions, and they whisked them off.
question them in the moment,
Hey, Michael, thank you for having me.
and give insights to help you understand.
So 10% of the people that voted for Trudy voted for Mark Mantovani as well.
That's Campaign 2022 on KMOX.
I'm worried that we don't have a plan in the county and the city, frankly.
We're built for this. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
KMOX News Time is 12:29. Donate a car, get a tax receipt, and tickets to the St. Louis Aquarium at mersgoodwill.org.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at ThrottleNet. These are the genius IT guys that I've been representing for years and years now. We are number one all the time. Best in customer service from Small Business Monthly. Best in cybersecurity, again, Small Business Monthly. We have an average response time. I love this statistic. The average response time in St. Louis in 2020 by IT companies. You have a problem, you reach out to them, hey, I'm all shut down, help me, was 3 hours. If you got back within 3 hours, you were cool. Ours was 1 minute, 57 seconds, and the guys were very unhappy with that. It takes less than 2 minutes for us to address your problems. Here's a huge thing. We are now offering $500,000 in ransom protection to everyone who uses us. This is part of the deal. You don't pay extra for it. So if you happen to be hit and you have to pay, we're going to pay it up to $500,000. Now, this shows you how confident we are because no one under our protection has ever had to pay. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS.
At 12:30, it's cloudy and 42 degrees downtown at the Arch. Democrats are holding on to narrow leads in key Arizona races, but the races for U.S. Senate and governor are still too early to call. About a fifth of the total ballots are left to be counted. The head of U.S. Customs and Border Protection is being forced out of his job, leading the nation's largest law enforcement agency, AP reports. Chris Magnus has been on the job for less than a year. Embattled cryptocurrency exchange FTX, short billions of dollars, is seeking bankruptcy protection following its collapse this week. FTX had agreed earlier this week to sell itself to bigger rival Binance after experiencing the cryptocurrency equivalent of a bank run, but that deal fell through. We've got some debris on 44 going east past Park Avenue. The center lane is closed. There's a crash on Manchester Road West at Big Bend that's got the right lane blocked. A stalled vehicle I-170 north before 270. That's on the right shoulder. And the forecast for this afternoon, breezy, maybe some sunny breaks with temperatures steadily in the lower 40s for tonight. A low 25 to 30. Tomorrow's high just 38 degrees. It's 42 at the moment downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Learn about the history and lessons of the Holocaust at the newly renovated St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum, reopening November 2nd. Membership and tickets for individual and group tours at stlholocaustmuseum.org.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. We continue shining a light on great work by nonprofits. Meet Unleashing Potential, known by its initials UP. UP focuses on discovering and unleashing the very best in each child they assist. Busey Bank is proud to partner with Unleashing Potential to help them fulfill their mission. Listen to our November podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/community banking.
Yeah, I was just at a convention with for one of the major manufacturers, and they were showing all the new products, and we were discussing all the new regulations that are starting in January. With that being said, there are new changes coming up next year. But if you want to get ahead of the curve and you think you're going to replace it, but you don't want to replace the system now, here's what I'm willing to do. I can buy all the equipment if you want to buy it now and put it in at a later date. I have a feeling it's going to save you 20%, 30%, which is huge on a furnace and air conditioner. If your system is 15, 20 years or older and you know you're going to do it, probably not time to be putting it off. I mean, we have 0% financing for up to 60 months if you qualify. I can help you out. Call me, Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Just this one name, Bart Inman. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.
It's women's Billikens basketball action tonight as they take on SIU Edwardsville. Pregame 7:17, tip at 7:30. Hear the game here on your home for Billikens basketball. KMOX.
All right, wrapping up the draft, we've got some of your submissions. Some of them will be the same as ours, others a little bit different. 314-436-7900. Bonus pick for each. Ron, you're up.
We do have a bonus pick. So I was kind of going back and forth on this one. All right, my bonus pick for our draft.
Yeah.
Polls.
Oh, God, that's a good one. How did that one last until the fifth round?
I don't know. I like polls, but I hate them also.
Yeah.
Because they're just so... People don't understand them in the first place. They're not always accurate. Obviously not always accurate. I don't think they've figured out a way to measure everything. We just talked about how difficult it is to reach younger people, and they dramatically miscalculated how many young people were going to come out and vote this time around.
It's an educated guess that people read as biblical doctrine.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like the pushback against analytics. Right? I mean, it's not exact. It's just giving you an idea of what it's a ballpark estimate of where it is. And it could be different in real time with the larger sample size. Funny how that always makes a difference. My bonus pick is the phrase real Americans.
Yeah.
Listen, no matter what you believe, you're in the United States, you are a citizen, and you are real. You're made up of skin and bone and everything. You are a real American. Period. Regardless of what you believe. We're all real Americans.
If you live downtown, if you live in Manhattan, if you live in New York, or if you live in Poplar Bluff, Missouri,
Yep.
you are an American.
So would a fake
You're real.
American be like Homer Simpson?
It would be somebody who's not a citizen pretending to be a citizen. To me, that's a fake American.
Or like Homer Simpson. He's a character. He's a cartoon.
Right. He's an American, but he's not real.
Yeah,
right,
he's a
right,
fake
right.
American.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, I really, that's one of the things and that's only existed now for what, about 15, 20 years
It's
almost?
just maybe more, but whatever it is.
I feel like there was a Sarah Palin thing.
It's just everybody's real. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody's viewpoint is fine. As long as it's thought out and you can explain it and all that. But just stop pretending that people that don't agree with you aren't real Americans.
You know
they
who
just
could
have a
have
different
used-
idea than you do.
You know who could have used the line un-American? Abraham Lincoln. He could have levied that at Jefferson Davis. He was not an American. He seceded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He
That
was.
would have- yeah.
What do you think the
Former
secessionist.
American.
what do
He's
you think the
secessionist.
Venn diagram of people who say real America earnestly and also have a Confederate flag?
Oh my
I don't know, but
gosh.
I
What do you
will
think the
say,
Venn diagram
It
looks
is
like
very
there?
an ironic juxtaposition.
and I will say,
Yes.
I do think the people that sometimes get characterized as quote real America, I do think a lot of their interests and needs and beliefs get glossed over by larger populations of people, and that's a fine thing to talk about. But that doesn't mean that you're real and other people.
Well, they
are
also
not.
don't realize sometimes the people who cry about real Americans and you're not a real American don't realize that their interests really are aligned with a lot of the people they're accusing of not being real Americans.
No, but I mean,
you
again,
have the same interests.
I get when you feel like people aren't hearing and listening to you, and that's a thing that we should all do better, right? But it doesn't mean that that's a thing.
My final pick is political social media posts.
Oh, politics on, yeah.
Politics on social media.
Okay.
I know it's always kind of there, but it definitely, there's an increase around elections.
Okay.
And I just, kind of sick of it.
I think those are all very good. Here's what else was on my board.
Got a bunch of texts too.
Oh.
Debates.
Yeah.
Because I really don't even like debates. If we're going to do them, and I don't know if we talked about this on the air, I know that we have discussed it off the air. Debates should all be held with no audience. No audience, no crowd, no let me make the quip here so that I can get a cheer from the crowd. None of that crap.
No.
None of it.
Make it more of an academic experience as opposed to a play into the crowd. I want to get a zinger.
I'll tell you what, if you want to spice it up a bit, make the political candidates do hot ones where they have to eat
Make 'em
really
do the
hot
one chip
chicken
challenge.
wings
Mhm.
and then answer questions from a moderator in a dark room.
Just a quick note. I did realize there are two things that make Ranji really upset and sad.
Yeah.
And that is debates and debates.
Get Amy.
I need to point something out.
That's actually good. That's actually good, Ranji.
Is it?
It is.
I need to point something out
Nah,
about this
Bears.
because this idiot over here, while we were talking and I'm talking about debates, she's got her hands in the air waving
I gotta say this.
waving like I have
gotta
to.
say it.
I have to say this next. Let me say something next.
You ever have a little kid do that? Like, mom, dad. That was Amy
Yes.
right there. It's like, I gotta say
I
this.
was silently going, hey, wait, mom, dad, mom.
Debates and debates.
Got a bunch of messages.
It's not true because just sports sidebar. Justin Fields is a god.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they
when he's
lose
able
all
to
the
run.
time.
Yeah,
It's not his fault.
No.
He can throw too. Shut up, Kevin. All right. Oh, and the other thing, horse race politics, like coverage of politics
about-
like it's a horse race.
Yeah,
That was also on my
or
board.
sports, like
Like it's
sports and
sports.
horses.
Yep.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. Let's see. Here's one that we didn't get to, which is really, I thought, a good one. This is the one I reacted to a bit ago. The length of campaigning is too long.
that's a great
314.
one.
You only need 2 months. Let's stop with this 2-year run up to
Really
a
good.
presidential election or a full year. I agree. That one is. How did that go undrafted?
Yeah.
That's your undrafted future all-star right there. That's a great option. Let's see. We had 314 says, but without all the political ads, we would now be subject to even more ED and PE commercials. At least not BDE commercials.
I would.
Thanks, Carrie Lake.
I would rather have the ED commercials.
Yeah, at least it's
More
helping someone.
useful. Yeah.
At least it's helping someone.
Not me. I'm fine. Like everything's fine. over here.
Let's see. We have a texter that said on the note of the spamming with calls and texts, says campaigns call me and I tell them they've just lost a vote. Even if I still might vote for their side, I just tell them. I like that. Just troll a little bit.
I
Stop
love
calling me.
I like Spike
It's
sometimes.
like I guess if it's a person calling, he says that.
Well, yeah, good point. I get the text too.
I
Like,
tell
hi,
the robot.
this is Jimmy from this campaign.
Do you know
Can we
what's-
count on your support? I always type back no.
It's incredible to just text back or say back what. Have him say it again and then go
What?
What?
What? Oh, I'm going to try that.
Over and what?
Do you know the thing about
New phone, who's this?
I don't know if this is a urban myth, wives' tale, whatever. But they always say when you get a call from a telemarketer or spam or survey or whatever, they wait for you to say hello twice. Like, so you answer the phone, say hello, then there's nothing, and then you go hello, and then they start talking.
Why?
I don't know if this is true or not, but I've always been told this. So whenever I answer a call and I don't know where it's coming from, and a lot of times I just, ignore it. But when I pick it up, I will say hello once. And if I don't hear anything immediately, I hang up.
Oh, I do that. I never say hello twice.
Yeah.
Ever.
If you don't hear me the first time, then I know that you're a
Like I didn't even
A
want to
spam.
answer the phone. So
Yeah.
if you get one hello,
Yeah, that's
you're
enough.
lucky.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt about it. One last text. A lot of the problems with elections could be solved by having the candidates and the people supporting them only be able to talk about what they are running for, not being able to badmouth whoever they're running against. That's 618. I don't think you can regulate that, but I agree with it in principle.
one way to do it. If you have the debate, no crowd.
No crowd.
No crowd. Moderator, 2 candidates sitting in a room.
And you can-
Lights on them, no colorful backdrop, just like Charlie Rose style. That's it.
Yep, I'm with you. 100%. Let's make it more of an academic procedure.
At the show KMOX on Twitter, we're going to have the poll there.
And we'll be retweeting all of this. We'll give you the results, or at least what we know about those a little bit later on. Can tell you more about the Tree of Hope campaign with Cardinal Glennon next up on the show.
And I've got some great news. If you are a business owner and you have 5 or more employees and you managed to survive the past couple of years, you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee. Yep, that's right. This is not a loan. This is not a payback. It's a refund of your taxes. And I know the idea of applying for a refund for your taxes can be intimidating, overwhelming. How do you get through the red tape? How do you ensure that you did everything correctly? Well, go to getrefunds.com. The team of tax attorneys they have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program, and they've already returned $1 billion to businesses, and they can help you too. Businesses of all types can qualify. So even if you're a company that took PPP, you're a nonprofit, or you even saw an increase in sales, you still could be eligible. To find out if your business qualifies, just go to getrefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and then answer a few questions. That's getrefunds.com. Hi, I'm Amy Markscores, and I've been wearing contacts since I was 12 years old. So eye care is a big deal. That's why I see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, and Royer. Give them a call at 314-966-5000. Dr. Birdie and Dr. Malhotra are cornea surgeons, and they're experts in the diagnosis and treatment of many diseases of the eye, like dry eye, allergy eyes, cataracts, glaucoma, and they're experts in LASIK surgery. Maybe you're experiencing dry eye. We stare at our screens. We don't blink as often. That can lead to your eyes feeling scratchy and achy at night. It could be something as simple as the screen or allergies, or maybe it's something more. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates take the time to talk to you. Visit them today at youridoc.com or 314-966-5000. 314-966-5000.
Maxine Clark made a difference with Build-A-Bear, and now she's instigating change at Delmar Divine. In the latest episode of PNC C-Speak, the language of executives, she admits she has a bias toward action and shares how the community in 63112 is evolving. C-Speak provides digital storytelling from a C-level perspective on relevant, forward-thinking business approaches. Don't miss our podcast with Maxine Clark at KMOX.com/PNC C-Speak. PNC C-Speak, the language of executives.
Hi, Kent Newbold for Newbold Toyota. Your car is worth more than ever before, so why trust the damages for your servicing? Come see the factory-trained experts at Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-5555. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, behind on taxes houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-5555. That's 314-782-5555.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens Find Rx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. When you need to talk Medicare, Walgreens is here. Start shopping today at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Home Sweet Home mission is to give underserved families a sense of pride and to improve the quality of their lives by providing basic household furnishings. To learn more, go to homesweethomestl.org. The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Kevin Wheeler.
Nice.
Amy Markscourt.
Fabulous.
Chris Ranji.
Unbelievable.
On the show.
All right, back in on the show. It is time to talk about the Tree of Hope campaign. SSM Health, Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, and KMOX. In fact, all of the Odyssey stations in St. Louis this time of year work together to raise money to help families that need it. And you can do that by texting 20357 to donate or by going to KMOX.com/Cardinal Glennon. Now, when you're pregnant or, when your family expecting a baby and the news that something might be wrong or there might be something that needs to be taken care of, this is all really scary, and this is why Cardinal Glennon is so important, and that's why someone like Judy Cowell is important. She's the manager of the Neonatal, Pediatric, and Maternal Fetal Medicine Access Center, and I talked to her recently about just this process and how good they are at this, and she started off describing kind of what she does and how she gets things moving for families.
Okay, so I am the manager of the Access Center here at Cardinal Glennon, and this is basically the intake system for the hospital. So it's physicians only that call through here. Physicians are providers, and they call my nurses. I have 11 nurses. They want to transfer patients. They want to admit them to the hospital. They need consults on a specific thing. So they call us, and my team is all registered nurses, and they basically triage these patients and determine where they need to go. So it is a patient care, not hands-on patient care, but we definitely have patient interaction through that physician, through that provider. We work hand in hand with our transport team here that goes out and gets all the children that are requested to come. And so we work hand in hand with them by dispatching them and sending them on those trips. And they basically work, 12-hour shifts. And they are, with this season currently, with the viral season, we are more busy than normal. So it's a very busy time of year.
I would imagine, too, that you probably deal with a lot of fear, I would think. I mean, people, when they're dealing with these types of issues, they don't know. Basically, the lack of knowledge can lead to fear. How important is it to have people understand the step-by-step as you go through it all?
So it's really important. A lot of our hospitals are small hospitals that don't have a lot of pediatric resources. They're not used to taking care of kids. So they call us for those advice and for those recommendations of how to treat the children until we are able to come get them or they are able to get them transferred here. So it is very scary for them, but we are able to connect them with a specialist or physician right away to kind of ease their fear and get the child over here where they need to be.
So what would be the I guess a bit of advice if you know that if you're a family member of somebody of a child that's being transferred, or if you're just involved in this process, what's important to understand about it?
So it's important to understand if you're a family member out at one of these hospitals or out at any of our referring hospitals, they have a connection directly to our specialists here at Cardinal Glennon and our emergency physicians. So first thing we want to do is make everyone calm and understand that we are here to help, and we will do whatever we can to provide that help. And we can provide clear education for that provider if they're unclear of how to go forward. But we are a resource for them that they don't have. So it's really a nice connection that we can have, and those providers can then go back to the families and tell them, here's the plan, here's what they recommend we do, and then go forward from there.
Are there a couple of common questions that you guys receive in the beginning of the process?
A lot of questions right now is, we've got some small babies that are having some breathing troubles and stuff like that. So a lot of it is just a reassurance of, is this an okay picture? This is what the baby's doing. Is this okay, or do they need further involvement? And so sometimes it's just the connection of the physician telling them, what you're seeing is okay, and that child will be okay. This is just, a pattern that they're going through, maybe with some of the breathing issues that they're having. Virus is very high right now, and that is what we're dealing with right now. And sometimes it just is that to say, let's send them over to Cardinal Glennon and we will take a closer look at them, because, we never want to send anybody home that the family is uncomfortable or that physician is uncomfortable. So we will just have them come over here and be seen if we feel like we need to get further evaluation done.
How common is it to have some of the issues pop up before birth?
Before birth, so for our maternal, those moms, sometimes they have a lot of preterm labor. And again, we're connecting them with physicians that is what they deal with is they're called maternal fetal medicine physicians, and they deal with preterm labor, contractions. And we have a lot of hospitals basically in Southern Illinois that do not birth babies. They are non-birthing facilities. And so very scary for them to have a mom show up that might be contracting, or, her water broke, stuff like that, things that they don't know how to handle, but they're able to, again, get connected immediately to a specialist and decide, that mom needs to come see us at St. Mary's, or can we send our maternal transport team to come get that mom so that she is taken care of how she needs to be taken care of in order to get her safely to St. Mary's.
I think all of us that have kids kind of understand even things that are quote unquote normal can be scary and stressful. And I can only imagine the level of concern and the amount of trust that they have to put into you and your team, and obviously all of the great people at Cardinal Glennon.
Yeah, definitely. I will tell you one thing that's very common is croup. And until I had children of my own and watching them go through croup, that is very scary for a parent to see. And so we do see a lot of that where you just need to take a step back and let them know, they look like they're really having trouble breathing, but most of the time they just need a little help to kind of get them over the hump. But that is a virus that we see very common this time of year that is very, very scary for families. And they need that reassurance to say they're going to be okay. There's things that we can do to help them. There's things that you can do to help them at home. So that's one that I would say is probably the most scariest as a parent.
Yeah.
Something that happens all the time to those kids.
Yeah. And you don't know until you know, right?
Exactly.
Well, that's why we have the great people at Cardinal Glennon. And I want to close, Judy, on the Tree of Hope campaign, because this is something that benefits people across the board at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon. And look, I know I've done a lot of different works with Cardinal Glennon over the years, and you guys are amazing. You're probably told that a lot, but you should hear it more. But this kind of campaign does a lot to raise some awareness, but also raise money that's important to make sure that this care and this stuff is happening at the top level.
Yeah, that I can tell you from firsthand, when I was a transport nurse, which was just a couple of years ago that I finished, doing that job and moved on to the job I'm currently at, is I saw firsthand what giving helped accomplish in this hospital. We were able to, by the contributions that are made by family members, we were able to provide our patients with our own ambulances here at Cardinal Glennon. That's probably like one of the largest things I've seen. And we have 5 ambulances. And so we now don't have to rely on a third party service to come pick up our transport team. We can actually leave as soon as they are, they're dispatched and that call is there. So you're talking a time savings of at least 15 to 20 minutes that we can get closer to that hospital. And we are based out in various parts of the community, which also is a plus because we can get to that hospital and kind of, allay the fears that hospital is having, them knowing we're coming to get them. And then the family also seeing a familiar face, especially those that are familiar with Cardinal Glennon. So the Tree of Hope campaign is huge in providing stuff that our children need day to day. It is a wonderful campaign.
That's Judy Cowell. She is the manager of the Neonatal Pediatric and Maternal Fetal Medicine Access Center at Cardinal Glennon. So much great information there. And what they do is so important. And keep in mind, they need the help to do all of those things, to provide that transportation, to get people from areas that may not have the level of care that they need. So to provide the care, the transportation, all of that, they need all of our help. And you can text 20357 right now to donate, 20357. You can go to KMOX.com/Cardinal Glennon. And obviously, if you're a business and you're thinking about doing something a little bigger, or maybe some kind of in-kind thing, and you want some love, email me, kevin.wheeler@odyssey.com. That's kevin.wheeler@odyssey.com. It's a great cause, and you can help during the Tree of Hope campaign.
Get 4 tickets to the St. Louis Aquarium when you donate your car to Goodwill. It's easy, towing is free, and you'll get a tax receipt too. Dive in and check it out at mersgoodwill.org.
Give hope. Give local. Give Goodwill.
This is Debbie Monterey with a real estate update and some insight from my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria told me that sitting on the sidelines may not be the best strategy moving forward in this continually shifting market. Homes aren't selling as quickly, and in most cases, price reductions are becoming pretty common. Gloria also said that earlier this year, with low inventory, sellers didn't need a strategy to sell homes because homes were listed and sold immediately. Now more than ever, it's crucial to have a proven strategy to get your home sold, and that's why I strongly suggest you call local real estate expert Gloria Liu before you list your home to get the absolute most money. Gloria is so confident that she will sell your home, she'll guarantee in writing upfront to sell it at your agreed-to price and time frame, or she'll buy your home herself. Learn more by calling Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Matza Matt here for Brewpub Lots of Matza Pizzas. This Veterans Day, we honor all of those who courageously, selflessly, and humbly served or are currently serving the United States of America. Leaving your families and loved ones to perform the duty that you were called to for the sake of our country is nothing short of heroic, and for that, we hold you in high regard. Thank you for the sacrifice you made so that we as Americans can enjoy the liberties we have today. Thank you for your determination to grant us the freedoms that we enjoy on a daily basis. You have our support, our gratitude, and most of all, you have our thanks.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The voice of the Billikens, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Jerry Adler had their kitchen remodeled by 3-Day Kitchen and Bath and talks about the experience.
If we had only met Darren when we started doing this construction, I would have been a lot happier girl than I am now. My husband, when he heard the 3-Day Kitchen and Bath would be in 3 days and out in 3 days, did not believe me.
Did he change his mind?
When he saw that 3-Day Kitchen and Bath came in and was gone in 3 days, he found that that was the best experience we have had. Darren worked with us on our budget so that we could have the kitchen we needed without feeling like we were completely out of our league. They were professional, cared about the other part of the house. The work is beautiful, and wanted to give them the biggest hug ever.
Top quality materials and workmanship. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. On the web at 3daykitchen.com.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health, suicide, or substance use crisis, call, text, or chat 988. There is hope. The Lifeline works. 988 for 24/7 confidential support. A message from the Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 1 o'clock, it's a mostly cloudy sky, 43 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican challenger Herschel Walker are pivoting to the second round of their race in Georgia.
Party leaders and donors aren't waiting to see if Georgia's December 6th Senate runoff will determine control of the Senate. The Democrats' Senate campaign arm announced a $7 million investment in field operations for Senator Raphael Warnock.
Are you ready to do this one more time?
Herschel Walker urged supporters at a rally in Canton, Georgia Thursday to help him get out the vote.
We got the B team in, it's time to put the A team in.
Stephen Lawson, leading a political action committee in support of Walker, says their message is elect a check on Joe Biden. Lawson's PAC will focus on the GOP base, the 200,000 voters who supported Governor Brian Kemp but not Walker, and the 350,000 voters who backed Trump 2 years ago but didn't vote in the 2021 runoff the Democrats won. I'm Jennifer King.
Ukraine's president says that special military units have entered the city of Kherson. President Volodymyr Zelensky made the announcement hours after Russia said it had completed withdrawing troops from the strategically key city. A manufacturing firm is expanding in the St. Louis area.
It's a $110 million investment by AZZ Precoat Metals into a new facility in an industrial park in Washington, Missouri, in Franklin County. The company says it wanted to be close to its operations it already has nearby, as well as river barges and railways. AZZ coats aluminum coils. The new facility will employ 80 people, which the company says pay above the county average of $32,200. Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
As temperatures go down,
the chance of frozen pipes goes up. Illinois American Water is warning customers to drain sprinkler systems, check homes for areas that may have exposed pipes that can freeze, and if a pipe does freeze and burst, they say to shut it off right away. Another good tip, know where the main water shutoff valve is. In the Odyssey break room, I'm Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
It's been a stormy day across much of the southeast and mid-Atlantic.
What was Hurricane Nicole is churning up the surf along the coast of the Carolinas and Virginia. Reese Williams was chancing fate by surfing at Folly Beach, South Carolina.
It's making like a little waves, normally like 2 or 3 feet, but I think the forecast out there, some of them are up to 10 feet. So it's got to be real careful about the water. The water's moving really fast.
Heavy rain from the storm system has led to flood warnings in the mountains of western North Carolina. Several tornado warnings have been issued in Georgia, the Carolinas, and Virginia. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
The First Mid Bank and Trust Business Desk impersonation a problem on Twitter.
Someone impersonating Eli Lilly tweeted insulin is now free. Eli Lilly had to apologize for that one. A fake Tesla account joked about the car maker's safety record. All of this part of a flood of imposters after Twitter allowed anybody who paid $8 a month to get a blue badge on their profiles. Until recently, that signaled the identities of those users were verified. Now Twitter has suspended the blue check program to get a handle on the fakes. Joan Doniger, Bloomberg Radio.
Eli Lilly's stock took a dive after that. The Dow from Stifel's down 48 points to 33,666. We've got some debris on 270 East at Riverview on the right shoulder. Some debris 44 East past Park Avenue's got the center lane closed. Stalled vehicle 270 South at Gravois, right shoulder. Stalled vehicle I-170 North before 270 right shoulder.
KMOX AccuWeather, it's going to be chilly, breezy. Some sun will break out. Temperature's going to stay steady in the low 40s. Cold tonight down to 25 to 30. Colder tomorrow. We'll stay in the upper 30s. Low 40s, still cold with some sun on Sunday. Maybe some rain or snow showers Monday night, Tuesday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Steve DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Mostly cloudy out there, 42 in Florissant, 42 in St. Peters, and 43 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
It's 104 on the show. Chris Raji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. 1 o'clock on Friday is when we visit with our buddy Mike Claiborne. Hello, Claibs. How you doing today?
I am doing well. How about you all?
We're all happy that election week is coming to an end.
Hallelujah.
In fact, we just did our draft for the week. We drafted the worst things about elections.
Yeah.
You have any draft picks, Claibs? Any draft picks you'd like to throw in there to compare to our notes?
How long does this show go?
As long as you want, buddy.
I mean, Okay, so I really enjoy politics, okay?
Buh.
But I am at the point with the campaigns that we see today. Whenever I hear people say, I'm going to fight for you, or
Oh, we didn't
when they
name that
start
one.
talking like that, I'm like, okay, we're done. And when do we have candidates that actually can tell you what their plan is? Instead of, it's always, I'm going to fight for you, I'm going to get jobs, I'm going to make you safer. But I don't hear the plan on how any of these things work. Now, maybe they say, well, I can't do it in 60 seconds. Well, we can figure a way to get it done. Those are some of the things. The negative campaigning toward the opponent really riles me, and both sides are guilty of that. Let's see what else. That's a good start. That's a good.
It's a good
start.
shopping list to start with. Yeah, yeah. I bet.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think that it's just so many examples of these things you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we won't hear from them after this, and I'm just trying to figure out where the fight starts. I mean, how are you fighting for me? You know, you don't even know me, and you don't know what my values are. And there was a time when we had people who actually went door to door and got out and tried and find out what their constituents were all about. Now we do polling, and that's another thing. Polling might be the
That
worst
was
thing.
on
that
there.
ever
One of my
happened
picks.
Yeah,
to
Raji
polls.
has that one. Yeah.
But
So,
Claves,
you know, when you
oh,
yes.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the polling and the fact that we don't have candidates that actually want to get out and get to know people and really hear what the issues are compared to what the pollsters say or what some of your consultants tell you.
But what if I told you that I was going to fight the radical agenda?
Oh yeah, yeah. How do you feel
That's
about
another
radical
one.
agendas?
Do you like radical
Well,
agenda?
you know, it's the catchwords. It's the catchwords in terms like radical, defund. That's a new one. We're going to defund the police. What else do we have? That
We're going to defund the FBI.
Yeah, we're going to defund the.
Yeah.
Hey, let's just defund the Marine Corps or the Army or who. I mean, we use certain words that we think raise an eyebrow, but all they do, I think, they're really starting to fall on deaf ears. Along with this, I think that there are some candidates who think we may be as dumb as a sack of rocks in how they try and sell themselves. Again, going back to fighting for you and using those catchwords and make you think, oh boy, this guy, he really knows what he's talking about, or this woman really knows what she's doing. And they just use these words and they have no real meaning.
Yeah. You know what's interesting, Claves, is that point you made about telling us what you're going to do rather than how you're going to do it. Because anybody can say what they want to do, whether it's a GM or a sports fan or a politician. Like, the what is the easy part. The how is the hard part, and that's the part we need more information on.
Yeah, I agree. And here's another one. Let me introduce you to my family tree. What my family has done, my parents have done, and what I've done. I don't care. I mean, if I get to know you, that's great, but that has nothing to do. Your father or your mother or they're not running for the office. You are. So that kind of bugs me also. Now, I don't mind if you want to do commercials with your family. That's great. Cool. Oh, he's got nice little kids. But at the end of the day, you giving me the dossier on what your parents did really doesn't move me because you're running for the office, not them.
You know, it's interesting because I think we all have a right to be cynical because of the grievance politics, the negative partisanship, and the way the catchphrases have been levied against the other party without really saying what each candidate stands for. And I think a lot of people who are hurt in the process, well, is one, the democracy itself, but also the politicians, a few of them at least, are going in for the right reason. It's probably hard to stay unmoved by power, the allure of power. But you know that there are some people running for city politics, statewide politics, who actually want to make a difference. And they get lumped in because the whole arena is just so toxic.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And the other thing that goes into that is the really smart people are smart enough not to do this job because it's a thankless job at the end of the day. And I commend people who really try and make a legitimate effort. But with all the things that lead up to and including running for office, a lot of the smart people just say, you know what, I don't need you to look under my hood that much. Let me do my job. And we've, I think, run off a generation of qualified people because of the fact that we've allowed ourselves to become so toxic with our politics.
It's kind of like having a hitting coach. You know, it's like being a hitting coach, except politicians can do way more damage or help people.
What, Chris, that might be the most insightful thing you said all week.
I mean, honestly, that might have been the most insightful thing I heard about elections the entire week from anyone.
Yeah. Clabe, stick around. I got a few.
Let's not pull on the slot machine too hard, Chris. There's only so many quarters in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
And you're welcome. All right, who's got something?
All right, so here we go. Let's change gears, Claibs. Let's change gears. Go to the Cardinals for a second because I want to know, when are the Cardinals announcing Trey Turner or Carlos Correa?
Yeah, or Wilson Contreras.
Question. I'm not on the Contreras wagon. I think Trey Turner does a lot of things for you. Speed at the top of the order, good defender, hits for average, can do a few things on the bases as well. I think he's a guy that really checks a lot of boxes. But on the other side of that coin, Cardinals have a young prospect who may be a year away that also plays shortstop. My thing is the best athlete on the team is normally your shortstop. Then if he's that good, maybe I put him in the outfield. Maybe he's a center fielder before it's all said and done. So I think they have some options. I think the question is, what do you pay a 30-year-old shortstop as far as length of contract? We've seen some of these things go 10, 12 years, and everybody, I guess they'll keep asking for it until somebody says no. But I don't know if I want to be locked into someone that long. We had Matt Holliday here, and he had a 7-year deal, and that worked out for the most part. But I'm not sure if I want to commit to double-digit years for a player.
All depends on what the competition is, right? I mean, those guys are going to be heavily bid upon. But if the marketplace is more, hey, we want to pay you higher salaries, but we don't want to go 10 years anymore. Like say we're going to give you $35 million a year, but only for 7 years. If you want to go 10, well, then we're going to bring it down to 30 or whatever. Because the number I'm seeing for him and Correa is like, AAV somewhere between $30, $35 million a year on a deal that's at least 6-7 years, if not more.
Yeah, see, I could go shorter, bigger money, get my money's worth out of it, literally.
Yeah.
That would work for me. But, I also look at this situation where, this is a team that's trying to win now. And I don't know what would intrigue Trey Turner. I mean, he's been on a winning team now, and so he understands that part. He's been in a great organization in the Dodgers. So what is he looking for at this stage of his career other than a good paycheck?
Well, this team is already, they've given us the idea they are going to invest resources. They have that. Do you feel like you have a good sense of what that actually means or what kind of dollars we're talking about?
No, I really don't. When Mo said that, I kind of thought of a lot of different angles they could approach it. And it doesn't always have to be free agents. I mean, maybe they acquire another contract from someone else. Or do they have some other contracts they're going to kick in as far as more money? So I'm going to wait and see on that because I really think after the general manager meetings of this week, the Cardinals, like everybody else, will have a better feel for the market. But here's the one thing I would hope. And we see it in the NFL and the NBA and the NHL. When free agency starts, it is like a land rush, okay? I mean, they don't waste any time. I mean, the first day out, we see teams making mega moves. And in baseball, it's almost like, okay, it's first day of free agency. Okay, we'll see you in spring training. I mean, nothing happens.
So again, it's
I'm hoping that we can pick up the pace and have something to go into the winter feeling good about compared to saying, what are they going to do?
It really sounds like you're talking about Arizona right now. Or Nevada. Counting votes. Like baseball.
Yeah, you're right. Baseball is that.
Hey,
you're right.
I weave them all together.
Yeah.
Baseball free agency is like watching Arizona and Nevada count votes.
Yeah. Well, I was joking earlier that the polling system is like the whole college football thing. Like everybody thinks they know how good somebody is until they actually play, and then you see how exactly that works.
The dumbest thing is a preseason poll.
Oh, it's the worst.
I mean, he's number 8 ranked Tougaloo State. Well, how do we know how good they are?
Hey, they're good, okay? Tougaloo State.
Yeah, I mean, so I just think that we got that all wrong as well. That's why I like when the college Bowl playoffs come up, they don't rank anybody until they've actually played some games. And with the transfer portal taking place and so many players moving around the country, it's really hard to tell who is good anymore.
All right, Claves, one more baseball thing. And then next segment, we're going to ask you about your weekend. You mentioned catcher and not being big on the Wilson Contreras train. Is there somebody or are there a couple of guys for that spot that you have your eye on that you like?
I like Sean Murphy in Oakland. I like the backup catcher in Toronto. His name escapes me.
Danny Jansen,
I'll take that starting. Yeah, I like him. I like the backup catcher in Houston. So those would be three guys.
You're talking Vasquez?
Yes.
Vasquez,
like
and he's a free agent now too, so that's good.
Yeah. So those are three guys that I would certainly kick the tires on. I think when you look at Murphy, his credentials are probably a little better than the other two. I mean, he's won a Gold Glove. He's a pretty consistent player, and he's got experience. And the other ones don't hurt you. So I don't think there's a wrong answer between the three because you're looking for them to come in and catch and just provide reasonable offense, okay? You don't have to be Johnny Bench here or Yadier Molina of 10 years ago. We just need you to get on base, move around along. Don't be that automatic out in the order.
Yeah, and you mentioned that with Murphy. Murphy in his career is like 14% above average offensively. Last year was more like 20%. And the Cardinals catching, Yachty the last few years has not been himself. He's been like 20% below average. So even above average offense is a pretty big jump from where you've been for the last few years. But I think you're right, Claves. The defense is what they obviously care about. The Gold Glove for that Murphy has. Look at Vasquez, good defender, known for his ability to work the strike zone as a framer, and he's been with both the Red Sox and the Astros winning championships. So he's a guy that's comfortable in the postseason.
Well, and you know what, Kevin, that's a good point you make because we're running out of guys who actually have been on championship teams. So to have a guy who understands what it takes down the stretch, and certainly when we get into postseason, they're always good to have around.
Claves, you're good to hang out for a few more minutes, right?
I am good.
All right, we got Fun Police starting at 1:30, so we'll kick it off with you. Next up, it's Mike Claiborne with us on the show.
This Veterans Day, we honor the many veterans who have fought to keep us safe and free.
We just want to send our best out to the veterans.
Think of them every day, and we appreciate their sacrifices and their families' sacrifices.
We will never forget this Veterans Day.
God bless you all, and thanks for protecting my freedom.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com. CertaPro commercial painters have powers beyond those of ordinary painters.
The power of minimal disruption.
We work with you to ensure a smooth project.
The power of making you look good.
Making sure it's done right, on time and within budget, so every property manager looks like a hero. That's CertaPro Painters.
The power of pro.
Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and Wonder Lights Christmas in St. Louis is brighter than ever at Worldwide Technology Raceway. The holliest, jolliest light show around is celebrating the season from November 11th until January 1st. Open nightly, rain, shine, or snow, including holidays. Tickets now available at the gate and online at WonderlightsChristmas.com. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Illinois South Tourism. WonderlightsChristmas.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Trish Gazelle for Ophthalmology Associates, the office of Dr. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Brusati, and Dr. Andy Royer. I went there over 20 years ago for my LASIK procedure. Couldn't be happier 20 years later. They are the doctors' doctors, and that's their nickname because they have treated more than 250 doctors, more than any other practice. And Dr. Birdie and Dr. Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye, dry eye, allergy eyes, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and LASIK surgery. Call for an appointment today. Drs. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Brusati, and Dr. Andy Royer, 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com. They're located off Manchester Road, 12990 Manchester Road, a half mile west of 270 on eastbound Manchester Road. Again, for more information, call Ophthalmology Associates at 314-966-5000 or go to youridoc.com.
Live and local. This is St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
All right, 120 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, Chorus, Kevin Wheeler, joined by our buddy Mike Claiborne. All right, Claves, we got the Fun Police starting up after the bottom of the hour news. What do you got going on so we can judge you?
Well, with the weather changing, I will be confined to the house for the whole weekend.
Confined to the house?
Yes.
We're not looking at a blizzard, dude.
What is your
No, I'm
minimum
just-
temperature?
50.
50? What the hell?
So, Claves,
So-
what month will you
I
be
will
moving
play
back
golf.
down to
over
Jupiter
right
again?
now.
55 and below, I won't go play golf.
Okay,
No.
I
I'm
can see
allergic
that.
to cold weather.
I can see that. Well,
I
Claves,
am.
so you're going to be going down to Jupiter what, like right after Christmas?
If I can go sooner, I would.
Yeah.
Wow.
So here's the deal. So today I went to Schnucks, the friendliest stores in town,
Mhm.
stocked up on some staples around the house,
All right.
some comfort foods. Going to do some chili tomorrow.
Oh, that's not
And,
bad.
That's good for this time of year.
Got
man.
got a couple of good bottles of wine, and it's just going to be. And so I'm also packing because I'm going on vacation next week,
Oh,
and I am kind of that organized guy. And so my girlfriend, who's not as organized as I am when it comes to these sort of things. So I've already had my pack list out and my packing cube set up, the whole 9 yards. And I always pack in advance to see if everything's going to fit in my luggage.
what's a packing cube?
Well, it's these little mesh things that you,
Yeah.
you put your clothes in. It keeps you organized as far as your clothing is concerned when you're on the road.
Wow.
They're really cool.
I do the roll method. Have you ever rolled your clothes?
oh,
There
I've
are
done that too.
Yeah, fewer wrinkles
Yeah.
when you
I just
roll your
throw them in a
clothes.
backpack.
Not surprising.
No,
And it looks like it, Kevin.
I know.
You are
I'm going to
100%.
be kind of boring this weekend, other than practice packing.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
I think we get.
watch a little football, and
I do think you get a
some
pass
chili.
though because you're going on vacation, like you're
No.
preparing for that,
Does
right?
not
or
know.
no?
You get a citation for
Oh.
50 degrees being
Yeah.
your minimum.
All right.
temperature.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
I went outside today with my dogs, and they were looking at me, and I was looking at them like, "Why are we out here?
Do
Oh,
we-
you guys have to do
do
your
we
business. Okay, could we hurry this up?"
Mike, it's not that cold.
No, it's the wind. It's a
Okay.
little blustery. That's really what it is.
It's
more
a
than anything
little
else.
So is this room.
Yeah, that's my
but
biggest.
it's
issue.
hot air in here, Ron.
Oh, it is hot air. It's
Yeah.
very warm in this room.
Can we ask,
It's like a sauna.
is your destination for your vacation top secret?
It'll be south of the United States.
Oh,
Okay.
Taco Bell.
By the way, it feels like temperature right now is 35.
See, that's what I mean.
No, it's
That's too cold.
41.
No, the feels like temperature says
No, it
35.
feels like.
Yeah.
No,
No.
I need it. That's too cold.
That's
No, you know what
pretty
it feels-
close to freezing.
And you know what it feels
That's
like?
right.
It feels like wear a jacket. You're fine. That's what
You
it
know,
feels like.
I was running this morning, shocking in Forest Park, but I wore the exact same thing that I would wear when it's warm out. Like I didn't even have a jacket.
It's because you were running.
It is because I was running.
Mike, Amy wanted to ask you, how do you feel about showering?
Okay. Well, no. We had a conversation.
Get some context here. Yeah.
I wholeheartedly encourage it.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes.
Okay, no. We had a discussion about how often one should shower. Once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, once every 2 days, because some people and I'm not talking about Kevin, but Kevin, he has gone 5 days before
In the past.
without showering.
Yeah.
And we are a little
And he wasn't
offended.
even camping.
You telling me you never did that in your 20s? You were just
No.
like, you know what? I just don't
No.
care. I got nothing
No.
to do.
No.
Yeah, you guys are weird.
No.
I
So
probably-
3 against 1, and
Yeah.
we're weird.
Yeah, you're weird.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I think from a showering standpoint, we've all played sports, and when we finish practicing or a game, we
Yep.
take a shower.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
that's one thing I would do on a regular basis.
Yep.
I know guys who take showers 3 times a day.
We talked to one, Michael Kelly.
Yeah, I mean,
he was
Oh,
in with
yeah.
us today.
like, you know, I've seen baseball players come in, work out, take a shower,
Yeah.
then get dressed for a game. Then when the game's over, take another shower.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
thinking they took one before they left.
Yeah, I've done that stuff. Like that stuff's not unusual.
What about how many times do you reuse the towel,
Oh.
if ever? You know, your
That's a good
shower
question.
towel.
all week?
Oh
No,
my gosh.
No, I'm every other
It's
shower.
clean. I'm clean when I'm using it.
Not for a week.
I'm clean when I'm using it. I literally just washed everything off.
Clabe said every other.
Every other day?
June?
Yeah.
You wash your shower towels in June. Tell me.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Tell me
Hold on.
this
Hold
is
on.
not
Hold
real.
on.
That was a joke.
No.
Yeah, it was
What
a
are you?
joke.
What is your real procedure though?
I go about a week.
Okay. See?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm
my
not
gosh.
crazy
Yeah.
because if Ranji's a clean freak and he does
Yeah, a
that,
week is
I'm not a
fine,
weirdo.
because I don't do anything else with it. It's just-
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
And you're clean when you use it.
yeah.
Because I usually take 2 showers a day. Sometimes I will try to reuse that towel for the second shower.
Well, that's
but that's
tough 'cause
the
it's wet.
most. I know, and it's wet, so it's kind of
So
gross.
why not just have 2 towels and use them longer each?
Well, 2 showers is a
No.
limit. You can't do, yeah, and you don't want
Clave,
to just
so you're
sit
like every
overnight.
other day? Is that what it is?
Sit
I'm every other
overnight.
day. Yeah.
Really?
I have a
Why-
bathroom that's
like,
windows
why
open.
though? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like you're clean and you're just wiping water off you.
Yeah, but the water may have some residue. That you don't
Then
Oh, yeah.
wash better.
yeah.
Well, the reason
Dirty water.
the reason this whole conversation started was there was a story about a guy, and he put it on Reddit. And his story was he had dated this girl for 3 years, 2 or 3 years. Then they decided to move in together. And when he moved in with her, he realized she was on a once every couple of weeks schedule.
Ugh.
Even I think that's crazy.
And it got
Yeah,
so
that's-
bad that he would sleep on the couch, and he tried to talk to her, and she got mad. So
He moved out, I'm sure.
I don't know the rest of the story. I know that was it, but he was wondering if he was being the jerk, and he was
No.
asking people.
Now, you know, let me go back to something. Now, in today's way of life, a lot of people cohabitate before they marry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just to get a feel if
Yep.
this is going to work or not. But there was a time when people didn't do that. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
came as you were, and you found out on the fly on whether she
Yes.
had crackers in bed or not. I mean, there's so many things you
Yeah, but
didn't know.
what, I mean, imagine moving in with somebody after marriage, like you've done the whole thing. It's legal. You're
Sealed
in
the deal.
and
You're
then you
stuck,
find
yeah.
out she doesn't shower but once every 2 weeks,
Hmm.
and she stinks
think-
sometimes.
I
What do you
think
do about
have I think you have a 90-day window that you can get it.
Is that true?
Get it annulled.
He's got a 90-day
Yeah.
refund
You know, there
policy.
are so many reasons that I could not survive as a pioneer family, like Little House on the Prairie. But I think the biggest one might have been the family bathwater.
Oh,
Yeah, but see again,
Oh,
at the
back
time,
then.
at the time, you would never have known the difference. It would be all that you knew.
yeah.
I'd find a lake somewhere and just fall in
Right?
there.
Yeah, there you go. But
Yep.
you know that's where fish do their things.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
Fish poop with that water.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Fish don't poop.
Claves is regretting joining
yeah,
us.
yeah.
No, he's
I'm
not.
sorry, Claves.
Claves, have
I'm
a
not
great
sorry
weekend,
at
buddy.
all.
Are you on vacation next week?
Next week.
Have a great
Next
vacation.
Friday.
We'll catch
We'll
up with
talk
you.
the following week for sure.
Got you,
guys
buddy.
have a great weekend. Stay warm.
Have fun.
Mike Claiborne with us on the show. We've got Fun Police Friday next.
Give
here
us
on
your
KMOX.
plans.
Oh, yeah. 314-436-7900. 314-944-1120.
I've got a pretty big, difficult life, but I never have to do homework.
There's only one Dave Glover.
I didn't take any real classes. Like in high school, I just, whatever the bare minimum was. My mom and dad didn't push academics. I certainly wasn't pushing academics. I took home ec twice. My mom made me a Chef Boyardee hat that I wore, not ironically.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays 2 till 6
Yeah, that's what I did.
on KMOX.
KMOX News Time is 1:29. Donate a car, get a tax receipt, and tickets to the St. Louis Aquarium at mersgoodwill.org.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. That's chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com or call 314-328-8000.
At 1:30, it's cloudy and 43 degrees downtown at the Arch. President Joe Biden says it's more urgent than ever to increase commitments to fight global warming. He says new spending on clean energy initiatives has cemented the United States' role in the effort. Biden commented in a speech at the annual United Nations Climate Conference being held in Egypt. Under gray clouds and pouring rain at Arlington National Cemetery, Vice President Kamala Harris has told the nation's veterans that their work makes America stronger. Keeping labor peace in the sky.
Just days after pilots at United turned down a proposed contract, the carrier says it'll move ahead with a planned 5% pay hike in a show of good faith. The raise will take effect next month rather than waiting until May. United says it's making that move based on its financial results so far and the outlook for the rest of the year. Erica Herskowitz, Bloomberg Radio.
Right now, there's some debris 270 east at Riverview. That's on the right shoulder. Stalled vehicle 270 east at 370 west and Missouri Bottom on the right shoulder. And 170 north past 6440 stall on the right shoulder. This afternoon, breezy, maybe some sunny breaks. Temperature steady in the lower 40s. Clear, cold tonight, low 25 to 30. Partly sunny and colder tomorrow with the high of just 38 degrees. It's 43 downtown at the Arch. Bit of sun. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Learn about the history and lessons of the Holocaust at the newly renovated St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum, reopening November 2nd. Membership and tickets for individual and group tours at stlholocaustmuseum.org.
All right, coming up on the holiday season, that means it's time for the Tree of Hope campaign. SSM Health, Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, KMOX, and all of our Odyssey St. Louis stations are once again partnering to get some help from the community. We're looking for you to be generous this time of year. What they do at Cardinal Glennon is critical. I mean, they provide services that most hospitals don't, and they will take care of anybody regardless of their ability to pay, and that's critical. That's why they need our help. So you can help out right now. You can donate by texting 20357. 20357, or just go to KMOX.com/Cardinal Glennon, and you can be a part of helping this out. If you're running a business and you're thinking about, we do this stuff all the time, an in-kind donation where, maybe a product or a service is something you want to donate rather than straight cash. We'll work with you to make it happen. We'll obviously give you some love here on KMOX. If you want to do that, you can just email me, kevin.wheeler@odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com. Your donations fund programs that aren't always covered by insurance. And again, for families that don't always have the ability to pay. And we're talking about, premature babies with health issues, all kinds of things. They need your help. So if you want to know some stories about how this works, I have one that we're going to talk to coming up next week here on the show, but you can always find more of their stories at glennon.org/ourpatients to find out more. But most importantly, in this time of year, help with the Tree of Hope campaign, 20357 or KMOX.com/Cardinal Glennon to donate.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? How would you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market index returns and limit the downside? Join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio. You can also call me now for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233.
Your home of the Cardinals.
Arenado swings and hits it deep to left field. That ball is out of here.
The Billikens.
Jumper. Yes! Billikens win!
The Chiefs.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
We are America's sports voice, KMOX. It's Fun Police Friday. Friday on the show.
All right, time for the Fun Police Friday. Chris Ron, Jamie, Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Ron, you just called Kevin Killeen your grandfather.
I did not call him my grandfather.
You did.
He just pulled the back of my hair like my grandfather used to do when we were in the car, and he'd sit in the back seat and he would pull my hair.
Your
and
hair
then he'd
is
say,
so short right now.
I know that, but he would still do it. And then he'd say, "You want to see a turkey jump over a fence?" And I'd say, "I don't know. I don't know what it means. I still don't know.
What does it mean?
I don't know."
Kevin, do you know? I mean,
what, a turkey jump over? No, I don't know.
No, I like it though. It's folksy and rural, and
it's very
it's Americana.
Well, we decided to expand our storytelling for the Fun Police. So we've got Kevin Killeen in studio, Jane Mather-Glass also in studio. So we're covering a bunch of generations. We got a lot of text messages already at 314-436-7900. You can also leave us a voicemail at 944-1120. All right, who wants to go first? Do we go?
Let's hear.
We let Grandpa go, or
Grandpa?
That's you did it.
I
me.
didn't know.
I'll go first
right.
because I want to just say something just generally about the feeling we all have on a Friday.
Yeah,
we're sort of like inmates who are going to be released for the weekend.
It's the purge,
and you get the feeling that remember that PBS show called The Prisoner, where the bubble would come and get the guy every time he would escape, and he would always end
Nope,
up.
that sounds like Raji's grandfather watched that.
So we begin, the weekend with high hopes that it's going to last forever. But there's sort of a guillotine moment where the weekend's cut in half, and you begin to think, "Oh man, I got to get ready for work. I got to do my laundry.
It's called the Sunday
sort
Scaries.
my socks."
Yeah.
The what? The Sunday
Scaries.
Yeah.
Do you
That's what
sort
that's
your
called.
socks in preparation for work?
Absolutely.
Oh boy,
you got to be ready.
Yeah.
So what if
You
what
can't interview a senator with mismatched socks.
No.
I would love to you be sitting down
Yeah.
for an interview with the senator, and he's looking at you and you ask a question, a thought out
I
question.
refuse
and he
to answer that.
He goes, "I can't even concentrate
What's
because
up
of
with
your
the socks?"
socks."
That's a Seinfeld episode. The socks, Jerry. The socks. He's
Oh,
like, he
man.
couldn't answer with the
So
socks.
what are your weekend plans, Kevin?
Oh, Gene has a better one.
No, you're going
You
first.
have to
No,
go
no.
first.
Okay.
Killeen, you're up.
All right.
Give
so-
us the plan. man.
Whatever it is, it's not going to be as
All right.
bad
Here's
as
what I
Dave's.
got. I got a bad thing. Oh, this is a bad thing for men. I have to go to a wedding.
That's a citation.
Is it a close family member? Because that's different.
It's a relative on my wife's side.
Okay, so
So
not.
there's
Citation.
Yeah.
Yeah. and
Sorry.
At least it's not a split wedding where there's a big gap between the service and the.
Oh, it's all together at
So
once.
that's Saturday afternoon into the evening. So in the morning, I'm escaping the prison. I'm getting in my little car. I'm going to turn on the heater, and I'm going to drive across the river and see the tugboats. And then, that's not the destination. And then I'm going over to the St. Clair Expo show. This is like a dental laugh gas session here.
I didn't think that your big dream was to get off.
But
work
you're
and
also
go see the
acting it out.
tugboats.
No, I'm
Like
going.
you got the hands
The
moving.
tugboats are incidental.
Yes.
Are the tugboats next to
My
bigger boats?
destination, yes, they are. And by the silos and the cows and the barbed wire and the alfalfa and just all these sensory inputs you never get on a weekday. And I'm going to this crickety old building that smells like a bad penny. The St. Clair Expo show.
Oh.
And they're having the beer show, the beer collector show,
Oh, yeah.
lamp signs, Falstaff signs, stag,
All right.
all that kind of
Gonna
stuff.
buy stuff?
Probably not, but just walk around and think, hey, I'm not at work.
All right, that's cool.
That's very nice.
That's good.
I'm probably going to cite you for not buying anything, but
I might. I'll come prepared.
Well,
but-
see, then you can
All
do
right.
it like when you get the ticket for no insurance. You just come back with proof of insurance and your ticket's taken away.
there you go. That'll work.
And
Yeah.
then Sunday's socks day.
Well, go to church,
Okay.
come home, have maybe a bowl of chili,
Okay.
work in the yard,
Not
do some socks, and begin the long
begin.
psychological decline toward Monday morning.
I think I'm only citing you for the wedding.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah,
like
the
a
wedding.
citation
Yeah,
for
you
the
get a
wedding.
citation.
All right. We have Jane Mather-Glass in from the newsroom as well. Jane,
Howdy.
what do you got?
Tonight it's this week was my boyfriend's sister's birthday, so we're having her and some friends over for dinner,
Mhm.
and I'm making bolognese for the first time.
Oh, all right.
So having a
Wow,
cooking
that's
moment.
no
which
pressure.
which is fun for me. I don't know if cooking is a fun police citation for
Not if you like it.
Depends.
I
Not if you like it.
What is bolognese?
It's like a cream meat sauce.
Yeah, it's
for
a-
pasta.
like hollandaise?
Yeah.
No,
Like hollandaise.
it's really, really not.
Hollandaise, bolognese, happy
You've
days.
never had
You just all
bolognese
of them.
sauce?
It's just a
I
meat-
thought it was red sauce.
It's a meat
It's
sauce.
got some
I
red
mean,
sauce
it's
in
red.
it.
It's
Huh.
tomato based.
It's
Yeah.
meat, right?
But it's also got cream in it
Yes.
How do you
Oh.
serve it?
on pasta.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
that sounds
like
Some
good.
parm on
pork
top.
with a yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty fancy.
It's like BOLOG and bowling.
N-E-S-E.
N-E-S-E,
Yeah. Okay.
Bolognese.
And it takes a long time to cook, which I just
Mm.
found out when I looked
Oh.
at the recipe. So maybe a late dinner, but that's
Okay.
okay.
Yep.
And then tomorrow, I feel like the day will just be hanging out with my cat, etc. And
Gotcha.
then
Your cat's
I-
name is etc.
No.
That's a great-
No, thank you for asking. My cat's name is Harvey Milk.
That's the best.
Thank you.
No, thank you for asking. My cat's name is Harvey.
And then on Saturday night, a
Oh.
friend of a friend is playing a show at some bar in the Grove that I
Oh,
haven't been
that's
to.
okay.
That's
So,
fun.
yeah.
Friend of
Okay.
a friend.
So you
And
got a
then-
friends event Friday night, a friends event Saturday night,
And then,
and then Sunday's just the Sunday scaries like Kev.
Sunday is do you guys not sort your socks?
Never.
Like, do you not?
Yeah, I don't
You
do
don't.
it.
You
No.
don't pair
All-
them and fold
nope.
them over before you put them in your drawer.
Only when
I
I'm
do.
packing for
You do?
vacation.
I'm lucky if I take them out of the laundry basket before I put them on my feet.
Yeah, I mean that's valid.
You have to
Yeah.
sort your socks. And
No.
not only do I sort my socks, but there are socks that are sometimes marked left and right. So
Really?
you have
Okay,
to
I
match
don't.
up.
I don't
Oh,
do that.
what happens if you
What the
reverse them? Do you walk
Would
funny?
you-
Your feet break.
What if you lose socks? I feel like I constantly get my socks
You
eaten.
can
by
throw the other one
cat.
away.
Yeah. You know, you do lose socks. I think you just sadly have to dispose of the lone sock after a
You,
while.
Or-
what if it?
You just wear mismatched pairs.
Yeah,
I've
but
done
as
that.
long as you have
Duh, I
two
do.
lone socks, if you only
Yeah,
have
yeah,
one
if you
Can
lone
have
I
sock.
say one more thing about the weekend? Is and tell me if I'm wrong. The best moment of the weekend is when your first conscious moment on Saturday,
Mhm.
and your instinct is okay. Got to get ready to go to work, and you realize, wait,
Yeah,
That did
It's
happen to me
Saturday.
it
recently.
happened to me
happens once
last
in a while.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah. I'd have like
Yes.
2 weeks ago. And I'm like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That
you-
feels great.
But then you
pull
know
out
what?
the maple syrup and the waffles.
But then I woke up on Monday morning. I thought it was another weekend day, and that was brutal.
Well, that
was
makes
a
up for
bummer.
it. Jeez.
I know. I
Mm.
got the really good one, the really bad
I think
one.
Jane to pass. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
I'll give her a citation for the cat.
Yeah.
For the cat?
For the
Yeah,
cat?
gotta sit
Because
come
it's
on,
all
man.
day.
Yeah,
You can't spend
absolutely.
all day on a cat.
I mean,
don't know.
Harvey
I'll
Milk is
probably
cool,
do
but-
something.
Yeah.
It's just we're gonna see what happens. You know, it's gonna be cold. I don't want to leave my house.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be like 50, 40.
In the
40?
40s.
It's going to be in the 40s all weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Wind
bummer.
chills in the 30s.
That's officially bummer weather.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I
because
feel.
they're such
yeah.
babies.
You should hang out with Mike Claiborne.
All right, so let's go. Rons,
He
what are you doing
likes
this weekend?
50
Oh,
degrees.
nothing matters this weekend except for Fields Day on Sunday.
So you're not
Uh,
going outside or anything in this
well,
beautiful, wonderful weather you love.
Here's the problem with oh no, I'll probably leave the house. Here's the thing about my
to
life.
pick up food.
I very rarely have set plans.
Mhm.
But my
Uh-huh.
weekend always ends up being better than yours.
Cited.
Oh,
Cited.
being excited?
Hey, I'm still the only
Okay,
person in
that's
this
fine.
room that's been to a holiday party this year. So,
I've been. to
Oh,
holiday
I can't wait
oh,
for
you
a holiday
did?
party.
Nice. There you go. Nuts.
Wait, like a Christmas holiday party?
Yeah.
No, I went.
Mine
to,
was.
Well, mine was a Halloween party.
Okay.
Does that count?
I'm talking about
Yeah.
like
He's
the,
talking about
yeah,
Christmas, because
Christmas,
I went to a Halloween
all that.
party.
Wait,
that doesn't
already?
count.
we did because it's the regular neighbors party and people could not go at any other point because people are traveling for Thanksgiving and December is busy. So
Mm.
they decided to do it when everybody could be there.
Okay, then never mind.
Yeah.
What about
We
you,
did
Kevin?
presents and everything. I'm doing nothing this weekend at all. Zero.
So
I have no
video
plans.
games?
No yard work. No, not going anywhere that I'm aware of. We'll probably grill. We'll watch college football and NFL. And yes, I will play video games. So I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, you're in the back of the car right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, that's a horrible
I am going
weekend.
to jail. Amy,
Tonight, I'm
let
going
me
to hang
guess,
out.
you're running?
Well, of course, obviously.
Mhm.
Tonight, I'm going to hang out with my old buddy, Michael Kelly. You guys may know him.
Oh,
Okay.
I love Michael Kelly.
Yep,
Yep,
he's
good guy.
awesome. So, and then
What are you guys gonna do?
You know that he'll be clean when he shows up.
probably- he'll be clean, probably grab something to eat,
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
catch up, and
Gonna eat ketchup.
catch
Oh.
up.
Boo.
Tomorrow, I am.
Tomato.
Hey, you know what? No more Jane.
No. Jane stays. Jane
This is
stays.
when you
No more
stop
Jane.
talking, Jane. No. Just kidding. We love you. Tomorrow, I am very excited. I am always the MC for the Girls on the Run 5K.
All
so
right.
we'll have
That's
thousands
fine.
of young
Yeah,
girls.
you're getting credit.
Yep,
All right.
running their 5K in Forest Park. And then Sunday is a long run, coffee and breakfast with friends, and then meeting up with a friend in the afternoon.
Mm.
Where are you getting breakfast?
Caldies.
Oh, I like Caldies.
Mhm.
Okay. Amy's got a good
Caldies is
weekend.
good.
Yeah.
All right, Amy, your weekend's fine.
Yeah, you get a good
Thanks.
weekend.
All
No
right.
Appreciate it.
citation.
And now for the snoozer, Dave.
Oh, wait, I forgot
Oh,
to
I'm sorry.
mention. I might go see Judas Priest on Sunday.
Oh, that's
Probably going to get
That's
me
a winner
another
right
day.
there.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
that's another-
That
that's
might
another
be
day.
good. But
No, that's a
they're
citation.
rock and roll Hall of
Priest.
Famers, man. They just
Unfortunately,
performed with Dolly Parton on
like
stage.
what Hall of Fame?
The
Like
Rock and Roll Hall
the one
of
in
Fame.
Cleveland?
Yeah.
Like the real one?
Yeah.
Oh.
The big one.
Dave, what are you doing?
Unfortunately, I'm not going to Judas Priest, sir, because
Oh.
that's a great,
Yeah.
great idea.
No, that
But-
might get you out of jail.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I'm moving next weekend, so I have to do some packing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's awful. It is just
Oh
awful.
my
I mean, it has
Wait,
to be
it
done, but
depends.
it still sucks.
Where are you moving to?
Creve Coeur.
Oh,
all right.
I thought it
That's
might
all
be
right.
like
Nothing wrong with that.
Michigan or something.
No, you're not that lucky. You're not that lucky. And the other thing, Jane and Claves are right. If I have to put a jacket on, it's too damn cold.
Oh,
Yeah.
get
No, what
serious.
is wrong with you people?
And but on Saturday, I'm going to meet some friends for drinks probably at night, and then Sunday it's NFL.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, you're better off, I think, than me, but
It's still not good.
Yeah, if you go Judas Priest though, you
mine's
beat
well.
me.
Yeah, if I go there, then it's totally redeemed. Jane, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Colleen, thank you. We got to take a break. We come back. We'll get your text message. A lot of good ones on the text line 314-436-7900. Fun Police on the show.
Well, it is my favorite time of the year, and that is the Christmas season. And one reason why I love the season so much, of course, the music and the Hallmark movies, but it's also a time where you can partner with the Salvation Army to help make Christmas come true for a child who otherwise might not have any gifts to open on Christmas morning. How can you do that? Well, that is through the Angel Tree program. You can adopt an angel, a child who has a list, a Christmas list, but knows that maybe their family doesn't have the resources right now to help make those dreams come true. So what you can do is you can pick a ornament off of an angel tree. Now, the angel trees are at local businesses, stores, churches, organizations, and on that ornament is a child's name along with his or her wishes and needs for Christmas. And then you go shopping for that child, and the Salvation Army makes sure that that specific child gets the gifts that you were able to help get for them. Or you can go to their website, salarmymidland.org, and click on Adopt a Child. And when you click on that link, or Adopt an Angel, I should say, and when you click on that link, you'll get a child that you can go shopping for this Christmas. Again, to find out more about how your business can host an angel tree and have that tree with the ornaments, or to adopt an angel so that you can go Christmas shopping, go to salarmymidland.org.
The heavy sigh. It's usually a sign of being overwhelmed, as if to say, I can't believe this is happening. Steve All at the All Financial Group has seen those feelings from the people who walk through his doors. If you feel overwhelmed about planning for retirement, call 636-230-8824 and get more details online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory services offered through All Financial Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuity products offered through Stephen All, Missouri license 8039738.
The holidays are upon us. Call Zero Res now before the rush. Get 3 rooms Zero Res clean starting at just $129 and get a free room of fiber protectant for an $80 savings plus $50 off your air ducts. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
You're not just looking for a doctor. You're looking for a way to feel better. At Archwell Health, our team is devoted to improving the lives of seniors like you. Barbara was ready to try chair yoga for the first time. She took one of our classes and met friends along the way. James chatted with his doctor and the team dietitian and got to the bottom of his dizzy spells. Archwell Health members enjoy a community of comprehensive care because you are more than a patient. Join today at archwellhealth.com/livewell.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-5555. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, behind on taxes houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-5555. That's 314-782-5555.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. If having turkey for the holidays, buy from a local farm, get one labeled USDA organic or certified humane. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Furnish Hope right here in St. Louis. Donate your unneeded furniture and household goods to Home Sweet Home. Visit www.homesweethomestl.org to learn more.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health, suicide, or substance use crisis, call, text, or chat 988. There is hope. The Lifeline works. 988 for 24/7 confidential support. A message from the Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Join us as we celebrate Jefferson Barracks VA Hospital 100 years of world-class service to our nation's heroes, November 12th from 10 a.m. till 2:30 p.m. with a car show, music, food, veterans resources, and more at Jefferson Barracks VA Hospital, caring for heroes.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 314-441-4444. Amy Marks Course.
This is my show, my microphone.
On the show.
All right, wrapping up the week with a little bit more on the Fun Police Friday here on the show. So we got some text messages coming in. You can still squeeze a few more, 314-436-7900. 618 says, here's one for the Fun Police. I'm leaving for Miami tomorrow afternoon and going on a 7-night cruise on Sunday. That's Rick in South City. You ever been on a cruise?
Yeah, but you can only do a cruise once when it's the first or second voyage of the ship, and then you can never go on a cruise again.
That's right.
You guys are such
I agree with you.
germaphobes.
Unless
Cruises are fun if you like to eat and like do excursions and stuff.
You know what else is fun? Legionnaire's disease.
Oh,
great.
Jeez. Rick, you're going to have a good time. Have fun, buddy.
You have a great time, except you're going to end up in the... No, I'm kidding.
These
You're
two
gonna be fine.
germaphobes.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
All right, so we got a text from the 618, separate 618. Just said this. Kids free weekend.
Okay.
Off work.
Okay.
Weekend with the wife.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Too much of anything is not good for your baby. But I don't know what
So what they're saying is...
I'm just saying, I don't know what he's saying.
I know what he's saying.
But I know what Barry White's saying.
I know Yeah, I know this guy.
What are you doing over there?
This guy's going to town.
Like he's driving to town?
Well, in a sense.
Okay.
In a sense.
Hey,
Amy?
I'm sure you are free to go. Have a great weekend.
All right.
Have a great. At least you didn't go all Wooderson on. I was like, all right.
Well, I'm just happy it's his wife.
Well,
actually, he doesn't specify. He says weekend with the wife. He doesn't say whose.
Hey, I'm sure it's his.
Well, why are you sure?
I'm sure
Text
it is.
How do you
back.
know?
Text back.
It says the wife. That could be a neighbor's
It's his.
wife.
That's how you do it. You
Nope.
sometimes say the wife,
No.
the husband, the old man,
Hey.
that kind of thing.
If you say so.
Yeah.
I know how people are.
Yeah. 251. This is our Alabama listener. Thanks for tuning in, by the way.
Mobile, Alabama. Hello.
Camping at Gulf State Park in Gulf Shores, Alabama, the whole week.
Okay.
Well, Gulf
you know
Shores
what?
is a good tourist area. There's a lot of stuff going
Look.
on there. If you like camping, I don't like camping, but if you like it, that's a good weekend.
They're going
or
to have a
good week.
really nice time, except citation for no showering.
Wait a minute.
Is
Hold
it
on.
Jim
You can
Gaffigan?
shower at camps.
No, you got it.
Coin operated showers.
How do
They
you
have
know they're
coin
not?
operated?
How do you know they're not taking their own camper with their own shower?
Well, we don't.
Well, that's not camping.
That is camping. You're going
That's-
out on a camper
That's
and you're
mobile home traveling.
do the old school shower, just jump in that lake I was talking. You were talking about earlier.
Is it Jim Gaffigan that says he doesn't want to go camping because why would he pretend to be homeless for fun?
Probably. That sounds like a Gaffigan joke.
He's not.
And
a,
he's funny.
He's not a camper.
He delivers it better than that, though.
Well, obviously, I have no delivery game.
I have no delivery
Did you hear me
game.
try to tell a pirate joke? It was awful.
I thought you were about to tell one by saying that.
I can tell one.
No,
but
don't.
Ranj tells the pirate joke really well.
From
It's one of his few
Oh.
redeeming qualities is he's good with delivery.
Oh, the pirate joke? Who
Yeah.
wants to hear it?
I
If you
want to
haven't
hear
heard
it. I want to hear it.
I've heard it,
Dave?
but it's funny.
All right. You guys know what a pirate's favorite letter is, don't you?
That's not the one I was talking about.
Oh, which one are you talking about?
The pirate that walked into the bar.
Oh, yeah. Pirate walks into a bar with a steering wheel on his crotch in front of his pants.
Yep.
And the bartender says, "Hey, why do you have a steering wheel on your pants?" And the guy says, "Yar, it's driving me nuts."
Yeah. That's a good joke.
It's a great joke.
I like that joke.
Do you want to hear a pirate's favorite letter?
Yeah.
A.
It's not A.
Z.
It's not that.
Dang it.
I know what it is.
Wait, it's the
It's not
alpha.
well. It's,
alpha.
Yeah. Well, it's
Omega.
Not, it's not R. A lot of people think it's R, but really it's the
Arr.
C.
Oh, it's
Okay.
the C. Good job.
You're welcome.
765. Here's the weekend plans. Leaves, beer, football.
Oh, you get a
Mm.
citation for all the leaves. For
What about the
sure.
beer, though? Doesn't the beer balance that out?
No, you can't. That's not how crime works.
What if you
don't
pile
say,
up the
"Hey,
leaves
I
and then
robbed a-"
jump into them
No,
and frolic
that's
around?
not how crime works. You don't say, "Hey, I robbed a bank, but I also helped a little old
Well-
lady cross the street, so I don't have to go to jail."
Hold on. Two things. What was the area code?
That is the 765.
765. Oh, Indiana.
Is it? Hello.
Yeah. Lafayette, Indiana. Hello.
Hello.
I
I
like
think it's and the other thing was this. Why is it taking multiple days? Rake the leaves in one day.
You
Oh,
sometimes
you don't know people. Some people's houses, the leaves are like a
so
multi-day
many
thing. Yeah.
leaves
Nah,
in
then
the front yard.
Just let them sit.
I cut down all my trees, so I don't have any leaves anymore.
Wow.
Well, they were dying.
Wow.
They got
Well,
they
they
got,
are
they got,
now.
They got diseased, so we
Oh,
cut them
how
out.
Okay, sure.
convenient for you.
Hey, listen, I don't have to do leaves anymore. I'm not saying that those things are connected. I'm just saying.
That is like one of those sketchy stories about a life insurance policy and a spouse that
I took out a
conveniently
policy on my
got
trees and then
sick.
cut them down. We got a text from the 573 says they are hunting Bambi.
Oh.
Oh, citation. Do
Yeah,
that.
citation.
That's a mean
Yeah,
way of
yeah.
putting it, but it's an okay weekend if you're a
Yeah.
hunter.
You get to hunt Bambi.
I'm not a hunter, but
Bambi
you
is
can
a
hunt.
child.
You don't.
Well, that's
you don't,
true.
You get a citation.
You don't shoot the young ones, right?
for the
Right.
phrasing.
A 314 asks a very important question. Just curious, when did a gig in a bar suddenly become a show? That's a great question.
Doesn't it depend on your age, though? Like if you're, because Jane mentioned, right, there's her friend that's doing a gig
Yeah.
at a place. And if you're 25 or something, that's Jane's around that age. That's a big deal. That's a show. If
Oh.
you're 50, it's like, all right, it's a gig.
All right.
Right?
I mean,
A gig pays $50.
Maybe, but it's still a show if you think it is.
Welcome to the show.
You guys have a good weekend.
You
too,
too.
guys.
You too.
Everyone else, yep, I'm going to be bored all weekend long.
Oh, we
Dave
know.
Glover Show, next here on KMOX.
McKnight Place Assisted Living and Memory Care. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years. Features luxury accommodations and exceptional service at McKnight Place.